Is Andy coming?
Hey,
Waiting on Andy?
we are ready for session 32. 32 sessions, almost a third of 100. Which is not quite, you know what I mean. Last time, as we enjoyed our lovely, lovely party of 7, they fought with a bunch of sahuagin, or however you want to pronounce it. Sahuagin, which is probably not right, but that's how I always used to say it. While on the docks. So some of them were on the ship. That would be Hylough and Praedyth fighting on the ship, where Praedyth decided that the better part of valor was to jump in the water and leave Hylough to his lonesome. Which turned out to be okay, because Hylough actually did relatively well. And the rest of you were all in the Silver Flame Tavern, where you were fighting against a 4-armed one who kept on spouting something about return what was stolen. After driving him off, I'm not so sure you drove him off as much as he just decided he was going to leave, and actually killing quite a few of his brethren. He dove into the water along with the few remaining that were left, and you guys were left with the aftermath of a bunch of dead bipedal sea creatures and dead guardsmen, as well as several dead tavern men, people, and a few things like that. The captain of the guard, who you had been, or commander of the guard, who you had been told to potentially go see at some point, from what's her name, Iylis? Oh my god, I forgot the tavern owner's name. It is from Iylis, or Iylis. He showed up with some of the guards and was surveying the damage and talked to you briefly because you guys had captured one. He told you to come talk with him in the morning and bring your prisoner. You guys then took the prisoner onto the ship, figured out that maybe he couldn't survive the whole night without some form of water, and attempted to talk with him. Praedyth popped out some comprehend languages so could at least understand what he was saying, or the creature was saying, but the creature couldn't understand any of you. So you spent some time trying to experiment to see if you could somehow trick is not the right word, trigger the creature to say something that might be of use. In the end, you learned about the potential, their god, the shark god, Shelak, or Shalkota. I can't remember exactly what I said for the name was, because I've already forgotten. And you found out he also mentioned a name called Siros, which you're not sure who that is, or if it's even a who. It could be a place. Not 100% sure what that one meant. And a bunch of times being said, you guys are food. So given that, you pretty much put him out of his misery and then dumped him over the deck. Everybody then slept the rest of the night, and it is now morning. What do you guys got to do as you wake up to greet the day? It is a bit overcast. The rain has stopped. It's over the course of the night, it had went from the torrential downpour to a regular rain to a drizzle to sort of a mist, and now this morning as you wake, it is just gray skies. Feels a little muggy, but not terribly so. And you awake to you guys being on there, as well as True. Rat and Perry, I believe Perry was on the ship, had left to go carousing and had not returned that night. So you're not sure where they are. And I guess I asked the question, what do you guys wish to do? As I unpause the game.
Maybe we should go see the captain.
We did say we would do that.
Maybe.
I second that motion.
You second the motion.
I'm ready for this.
Marcus is the talker in the group, so he should go. Lead the way.
Okay, does anyone want to check on Rat and make sure?
Well, they went out that night. You haven't seen them come back, so.
Well, I meant look for his body or try to make sure he's okay and not in the hospital or something. Or are we just going to assume that he's okay and we'll figure it out later?
Well, I mean, he is one of your other two. Him and Perry are the only other
I know
two
we don't have that many crew members, so
it's up to you guys what you want to do about it. I'm
Well,
just
we do
remembering.
have to look for him eventually, but maybe if he doesn't come back by
He's a little man.
noon.
I'm sure he's fine.
Okay. I'm sure they'll come look for me. Don't
He might be
worry.
in jail, might have done something. Might have to bail him out.
Sure. Sure.
As you guys are kind of thinking and discussing what you want to do, you hear some shouts on the docks itself. Shout in this sense, though, quickly turns into realizing that it is just the crier, a news crier, and he basically goes, "The Gale League blockades Calastria, only allowing passengers to depart the city." Is the first thing you hear from him. And you keep shouting that as he kind of goes down a street. One of you kind of look over and see him cross along the docks and then head past the Silver Flame and shout that every so often.
Okay. We'll have to get a map to figure all that out. So that was Milan, you said?
That's Calastria news. Is that what that was?
Gale League blockades Calastria, only allowing passengers to depart the city.
That's Kale, right?
CA.
Oh.
Calastria. Otherwise known as...
That's the place where we're
Wanted to go.
passing through when we got shipwrecked, I think.
You're going to head through there, yes.
So that may not be open to us. Unless you want to smuggle stuff, I'm sure.
So Calastria is over here. You currently are way over here.
Okay.
So why are they blockading Calastria?
We don't know. We didn't ask the crier.
You might
He
have
doesn't-
to ask the
Crier
crier,
continued on his way, so if you want to
He's
go
just
catch up
giving
to him and
headlines.
see if you can get some information from him, that's a possibility. Just
Do they have printed news? Are we in the era of newspaper and can we read, or is this not?
maybe in some places. Clearly, this city is using no crier.
Okay.
I mean, there are there are job postings on job boards, so at least some kind of written form of things is done. But a kind of newsprint kind of thing really requires a printing press, and that isn't necessarily something that has been. Well, it might have been invented, but
Improvising
it's not something.
firefighter.
Yeah,
doing that.
it might have been invented, but maybe it's not very widespread. Is my point. Like really large cities might have one, but the city isn't that large. It's just like about 5,000-6,000 people.
Okay, so we can't go to that and find out all that stuff. So we definitely need to go to the captain. We probably want to do that first. There are a number of other places that you guys had mentioned. We definitely need to go still get a crew. And that we had that guy last night who apparently survived.
Which guy last night?
Sorry, and whatever
Prisoner.
last in the bar.
Oh, the one who was watching you.
Yes. No, not the one who was watching the. I've got it in my notes.
Prisoner. Oh wait, we killed them.
Yeah, you killed the prisoner.
Not the prisoner. There was someone we were supposed to talk to if we wanted to get crew.
Oh, yeah.
Rhux. Is that it? Those people?
Didn't he die too?
No,
No, that's mine.
no, he didn't. I think his name was deleted from my current notes because I was past that day.
I've got Barracks, Birach, which I'm sure I spelled wrong, but those people
well,
were
I just have to
sailing
go.
on Finesse.
I have notes from every single one. I just have to go back a page.
Okay, I mean, it's mainly, I'm just throwing it out there as something we need to do.
Let's see.
And we have the
yes, you
fishing
potentially
vessel.
have that. I actually didn't write down this guy's name, so I'm gonna have to actually go to the video and find it. But yes, that guy was alive. You're not. You have a you have an idea of where he might be, but you don't have exactly where he might be. You probably would need to talk to Iylis again to get exact directions.
So I guess first things first, let's go to the captain. Let me go to the guard.
Okay, you guys, get together, gather up on deck. True is going to stay here since somebody has to stay and man the ship. And as you guys are kind of starting to head for the gangplank, you start to hear the shouting of another news crier. As one more comes down, that starts coming down the docks, you can see different person. This one shouts out, "Son of Lord Morvan, Revolt Morvan, missing. Reward for his findings. Reward for information about his whereabouts." Continues down there. At this point in time, it seems like maybe one crier, one piece of news. It's kind of what you're getting. You guys continue off of the gangplank down onto the docks, and you start heading towards Oaken or Oren Port or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of the streets that I told you. Continuing past the Silver Flame, deeper into the docks district, you determined actually that as you're kind of walking through there, you can actually see not too far away, like maybe quarter mile or so, if that. You can see a river flowing in between some of the buildings. You can see a river flowing through. So clear, and some of the roads head towards that river, and occasionally you can see a bridge over it further into the city. You don't need to necessarily go that far. I'm just pointing out that that's something you notice. As you are kind of walking through the streets, you get maybe about, I don't know, a couple blocks from the Silver Flame, and you notice that there are some of the Argent Watch have pushed some people up against a wall. They're on the outside of what looks like a butcher shop, maybe, and the butcher shop, the door clearly was torn off. The window, the shutters were torn open. You can see that the people that are pushed up against the wall, there's some dropped meat at their feet, and the watch is busy kind of manacling them. You guys want to do anything about it, or just continue on? I'm just asking.
Just ask one of the least busy watch guys what happened.
As you're kind of coming by, I mean, it's a little bit off your thing. You kind of head over a little bit, and one of the watch guys who's kind of watching traffic, or kind of watching the people move by. It's not super heavy, filled with people, but there are people moving about their business. So it's not like you're crushed in with people, but there's a decent number of people on the streets right now. He kind of looks at you and gets your eye, and basically as you're getting closer, he's like, move along, nothing to see." I mean, you can still ask your question. I'm just saying that's what he said.
So I didn't ask my question? You didn't?
No, you didn't get a chance. As you were coming closer, he basically noticed you're approaching and said, move along.
I'll try to sneak it in there. What happened? Got thieves here?
He kind of looks at you a little suspiciously and says, "Looters. You're not a looter, are you?"
No. From the last night's mayhem?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were at the docks defending, cutting those guys down. Those shark guys down.
Yes. Sure. Move along. Nothing to see here.
All right.
You get the feeling he doesn't truly believe you were part of that, but up to you.
I don't have to impress him.
Yeah, it's up to you to decide if you want to impress him or not. But yeah, it basically, yeah, he's saying that there's a couple, the people that are basically up against the wall that are being are clearly being arrested. They look like a sort of a downtrodden, bedraggled kind of commoner. And it's pretty clear that they tried to steal some stuff out of the butcher shop. That it from the looks of them, they're not strong enough to have broken up the doors or anything like that. So this must have been broken open for either from the fight or from somebody afterwards or something like that. You guys continue down the street. As you're kind of going through, you hear another crier coming through. Yes, I'm giving you lots of information, lots of news. Morning news. This crier says, "Festival of Blossoms begins tomorrow. See shows at the Siren's Lament or participate in the Blossom Games on the lawn." You guys keep going. And
I'm going to stop the guy and ask him. So if we want to know more about what you guys are talking about, I've heard other criers. Where do we get the rest of the news?
It kind of looks funny. He's like, no one's ever asked that before. We get told what to shout at the town hall, at City Hall.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll go to the town hall. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. And he continues walking down the street, starting shouting out the same thing. You guys continue, and it's not very much longer. It takes maybe 2 more minutes, and you clearly see the watch tower is not the right word. It's more of like a gatehouse kind of thing. It's not even a gatehouse. The watch house,
Yes.
guard house, whatever you want to call it. Brain is not working today. Too many meetings today. You're able to get up there. There's a couple guys standing outside. Remember the argent watch looks kind of like this. I'll give you a quick picture of them. Kind of look a bit like this as you're kind of looking into them, and you kind of approach, and they both in this case these two have spears. They kind of drop them in front and say, one of them says, "State your business."
We have business with Sev Kevin.
The commander.
He asked us to the day after the events on the dock.
What is your name, sir?
Marcus.
Marcus, thank you.
Yes.
I mean,
You mentioned
I
that
don't
you
have
would
my
be coming
character
by.
pulled up.
You mentioned you would be coming by, and the two of them kind of released their shield things and
Marcus of the Widowmaker.
Inside.
You gotta make sure the
yes,
Widowmaker.
actually, Marcus of the Widowmaker, I think is exactly what you said. Actually, like, yes, enter.
Thank you.
Guys go inside. Inside is a typical kind of guardhouse kind of thing. As you come in, you basically come in these 2 doors, and inside is a small courtyard. There's a couple guardsmen there. There's like basically like a sergeant with a small group of like 4 guardsmen doing some patrols, doing some
Paperwork.
not even paperwork, drills. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Jeez, really has been a long day. Doing some drills. And kind of there's some buildings. Kind of the central courtyard is maybe 25 feet by 25 feet. It's not super huge. So, if there were the kind of drills they're doing here are more kind of like simple sword drills and stuff like that. Around this courtyard are basically doorways into what look like either offices or barracks or that sort of stuff. As you come in, it's pretty clear to the right is the main guard office where probably people would report something or something like that. It's also pretty clear that straight across is where the main barracks are. Because you can actually see sort of in the door there, you can see some bunks and stuff like that. You hear the clang of what sounds like a hammer on metal to the right and further to the right across the thing. Probably, and as you're kind of looking, you can sort of see some smoke billow out of there. So probably that's where an armorer is that keeps the guys going. And you're not sure what this left side is. There's no activity there, and the doors are closed. What are you guys doing?
I'll stop and ask someone where do you meet the captain?
Yeah, so you kind of look. There's a guy that's kind of crossing from the barracks to the armor. He kind of notices you and comes over and says, "May I help you?"
Yes, Marcus of the Widowmaker and a crew. We're here to see the captain.
Yes.
About the events of last night.
He was ran in through there.
Thank you.
And he points towards basically the spot where the doors are not open. You guys head over to the door that's there, and
are there any wounded here or people who seem to have been?
Are you asking him, or are you just?
No, I'm looking at just observation.
You don't see any currently, but that doesn't mean there aren't any. You just don't.
Right.
See
No,
any.
it's just they're not like.
They're not
it's
sitting
not bad
out
enough that they're just hanging out and recovering outside. Okay.
Pulling on the door handle, it opens easily enough, and you head inside. Inside is a small hall, a small entryway that has a door behind it that has 2 doors, one of which is open, and you can see into it, and you can clearly see a very tired-looking Sev Kuin sitting there talking with what looks to be another guard. As you kind of start to come up closer, he notices you, but before that, you kind of hear, "We got to get this looting under control. Send out a couple those new guys, the ones you're starting that Sergeant Aiken is trying to whip into shape. We gotta do something to get this a bit more under control." And the guy's like, yeah, I Commander, I'll see to it. And about that point is when he notices you, and as the guard comes out, he kind of waves you over and it's like, Marcus, Widowmaker, right?
Marcus of the Widowmaker, yes. Commander Cohen,
Yes, Commander, I'm Sev Kuin.
Sev.
Sorry for the roughness of my office. As you guys kind of squeeze into an office that's maybe 15 feet by 15, with like 7 of you, and you know there's something spilled on liquid spilled on his desk. There's papers in a variety of places. His helmet is kind of thrown into the corner, like he wears one of those helmets as well. It looks like, and it looks like his sword belt is over near what looks like a mannequin, like where you put an armor stand. It's kind of over there as well. It looks
like a man who's got a lot on his plate right now.
Exactly.
Understandable.
It's like, I don't have enough place for you all to sit, but it's good.
Quite all right.
I'm glad you came. Wait, didn't you guys have a prisoner?
We did, but the prisoner did not survive the night. Out of the water, it just we tried to question it, and we used magical means, or actually no. Do they hate magic here?
No,
I can't remember.
Mergale's not that.
Okay.
I remember artificers are pretty much okay everywhere.
That's right.
So.
We used every means at our disposal. He spoke a little, mainly that we were prey and basically we were food to him.
So you at least understood him somewhat. Were you able to communicate enough to get some kind of information?
No, we not really. He mentioned something about zeros. That was going to punish us. I don't know if that's the leader or
Zeros. I've never heard of that. Oh well. But any idea at all what they're looking for?
No, he would not tell us. He honestly just seems like he almost an animal. So a barbarian or something like a shark that walks on 2 feet. Unfortunately, but yeah, we could not keep him alive through the night, and
this is unfortunate.
He attempted to escape numerous times. So
this is unfortunate. We really don't know what the big one was talking about. We don't know what was stolen from them. We haven't seen any of these devils in 2 years. So I'm at a loss as to what they might think that we have taken from them.
Well, they seem to stay on the docks. They didn't go anywhere from the city, correct? I mean, and maybe that's because the water's the closest.
In fact, from what I understand from the men and from some of the men from this morning, they were mostly attacking warehouses, like trying to break into warehouses and things of that nature. Sometimes shops, usually meat shops like butchers or tanners, anything that had a strong smell to it, from what I understand. Very bizarre.
So maybe that's what they were looking for. I'll also tell them about the empty fisherman's boat that we came across on the way in. And say they were just gone. But didn't it look like they cleaned up out whoever attacked them?
Yeah, it looked like that one looked like it was cleaned up. Yes.
So I don't know if it's the same or
connected. Seems unlikely to be these creatures. They kill indiscriminately, and if they take you, they're just going to take you and eat you.
Yeah,
and they seem to become more frenzied with blood.
That does follow with something else that were too many problems right now. Too many problems, and he kind of starts massaging his temple a little bit.
Oh, perhaps we came at the right time.
He takes a drink from the.
Quite good at solving
drink from the mug that's sitting there. And he kind of, whatever he's drinking is certainly got a bit of kick to it, whether it's probably not coffee, probably something stronger. He's like, where are you guys from?
We're kind of from all over, but we just came from the north of the island here.
Oh, you came from Rhux. I mean, but you have a
Yeah.
ship, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Or, wait a second.
Oh.
It was 2 days ago, 3 days ago. One of the Rhux guardsmen came in and got bounty
That's-
money.
Yeah, that's us. We captured those
You
pirates.
guys captured the pirates.
Yeah.
Huh. So the Widowmaker. I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to remember that one. All right. Well then, I'll give you a little more than what I would normally give out to the citizenry. There's a few things going on.
Thank you.
I'm
Perhaps-
sure you've
perhaps we
heard.
can help.
I'm sure you heard the crier this morning. Lord Morvan, his son, missing.
Right.
We've been trying to find that boy for a month now, but he's not the only one who's missing. I've had several reports from people missing from the squalls, and even a few people missing from the trade district as well. We have had no luck finding them. I'm not sure where they're off to. The squalls, would be hard to track them down anyway, because most of those people, they live wherever. I mean, they live in hovels, live in holes in the wall, that sort of thing. So who knows? Some of those might actually be just dead from overdoses on drugs, or having starved to death or something like that. Although Iylis has been trying to do some help there, so maybe. No, anyway, Iylis is the one that's been telling me most of the stuff. The owner of the Silver Flame.
Yeah, we've spoken with her. She seems very, very friendly, very knowledgeable.
Well, she's
been
trying.
helpful.
She's trying to help who she can, but there's only so much we can do. I'm stretched to the gills for.
Saw what you did there.
Yeah, my men are. It's even worse now. We've got looting rampant because of what happened last night, and not only that, but a good dozen of my men are either dead or missing, also from last night's thing. So we're just a lot going on.
Did we see them take anyone into the ocean with them, or they mainly just killed them and left?
Mostly they were all killed, but remember, there was fighting all over the place.
No, I know, but we didn't specifically.
Yeah, but
see...
specifically in your area, the guardsmen were just left on the deck,
right,
on the docks.
Okay.
That doesn't mean some aren't missing from other places, though.
Did the disappearance start in a certain place earlier, and then spread?
Well, I can't. I don't know. The only one that I know of a time frame for real on is Lord Morvan's son. Because
and when was that? I'm sorry.
About a month ago.
That
So
is
I'm
some
not
time
sure.
for Lord's son.
That's a cold case.
Well, it's cold now. Unfortunately, we're still searching, and not just the docks guards. A lot of the Argent Watch is on it. That's why I can't even really call in extra watch from other places. So,
and Lord Marvin is the.
Lord Morvan is one of the plantation owners, one of the nobles. Not really. One of the high families is probably the better way to put it. So the Brigale League doesn't really have nobles per se. It has more like wealthy families, and they take an honorific of Lord because it's medieval times. You want to sound more important than you are. I mean, you've even heard when Iylis talked about the lady governor of the city. Like, usually it's either a lady or a lord. It's not a lady governor, or it's a governor. But clearly, the lady governor has taken on an honorific to make herself look more important. And you kind of got that feeling when you were talking to Iylis as well. Iylis didn't seem to appreciate the lady governor very much. So it's probably just a wealthy merchant, or a mine owner, or something of that nature.
How can we help?
But asking about Morvan, which you did, so he's probably a wealthy merchant or something like that. You can try to ask more about it. I should have said that.
Yeah, so we can definitely start there if those disappearances are related. But I mean, like you said, there were a number of things. The sailboat. Were there any vessels that came in the last several days?
I will remind you that, real quick, when you were looking at the job board, there was one job to take cargo to Emerdal, which was 10 barrels of something, where you were supposed to speak with Nevin at the Moraven grounds in the trades. So the name does ring a bell.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So what was your question, John? Sorry.
Were there any vessels within the last several days which may have brought these sea people? I mean,
no. The only large vessels that have come in, other than our typical fishermen, is the three that came in, the Kestrel, the Sunbeam, and the Maiden's Calm. The Kestrel barely made it in. I believe they were still bailing as much as they could just to make it to port.
was that the vessel that was fighting the pirates? Is that the ship?
That was
ship?
That was the one. Those three were basically yes. Kestrel came upon, from what I understand, the Kestrel came upon them while they were being assaulted by pirates or chased by pirates.
Like you said, if only we knew what they were searching for, what would be.
Yes.
I mean, their armor and weapons seem to be coral.
It's the typical sea devils. I mean, they live in the sea. From what I understand, they live in some city off the coast down by the Devil's Shoals. That's the reason why it's called the Devil's Shoals.
Well, I mean, what would they value? They did mention the god they.
Yeah, the one prisoner did mention a god to you. Like you guys figured out it was probably a shark god.
Did we get his name?
Shellock, I believe, is what I gave you, but it's probably not that. I can't remember exactly what it is. There actually is a name, but technically it's. I will come up with a better one, but Shellock for now.
So it could be a religious icon. I mean, it seemed that
Shakota. It was Shakota. I remember that.
That the prisoner had mentioned that was another one who vengeance, and I believe he thinking back, some of the members of the party have some religious background and is a god of some type. So
well, I've never heard of it, but I don't think we've stolen any idols or anything, but what do I know? I mean, I'm mostly stuck here in the docks patrolling it day after day.
Well, if anyone steals it, they probably wouldn't come forward with it anyway.
Probably not, no, but you never know.
Were there any wrecks, perhaps? Some diving on wrecks at Reclamation or anything? I'm just thinking of.
Yeah, not that I know of. I mean, there's many wrecks down there by the Devil's Shoals. I mean, there's rocks and reefs and things like that. A lot of fishermen used to fish down there until they started getting attacked by these sea devils about 4 or 5 years ago. I believe some fishermen still fish down there, but not very many. Like there's still good enough fishing up here that it's not worth doing. And on this map that we're currently on, the Devil's Shoals are here. So they're about a half day of ship travel down the coast.
Can you tell us one of the ones who goes out there? Maybe he's seen something or some different type of.
I don't know. I mean, I don't keep track of the fishermen that much, especially the ones who go.
We can ask around the docks.
Yeah, you can. You probably have to do that.
But
you guys seem capable enough.
Well, we
can
tend
certainly
to
use the
stumble
help.
into problems, or they stumble on us. So it's a lot easier if we go hunting them first.
Certainly use the help. If you guys want to try to track down what these creatures were after, what they think we've stolen, that would make it at least for the next day or so while we try to clean up all the looting, and then hopefully at that point enough of the men who were injured will be good enough that I can potentially set them up on the case.
Certainly. Being people from just coming in, I'm sure like any other city, people will be reluctant to speak with us. Is there any type of name we can mention or something to prove that we're investigating for you rather than just making it up?
He thinks for a second. And he opens up a drawer in the thing and rummages in it and pulls out like a small pewter metal, basically is what it looks like, and it's got a well, it's actually it would be a silver metal because it's the argent watch. So it pulls out a piece of a silver metal. It's maybe about 2 inches in diameter, with a hawk on it. And he hands it to you and says, "This is the Argent Watch seal. People try to counterfeit it, but this one has some special stuff on it, which will." Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly how we keep it from being counterfeited, but
of course we don't need to know.
but if you show this, it will show that you are acting with the authority of the watch.
Hylough, can you hold this for us? I think you're probably the one who's most appropriate to carry a symbol of law and order.
I don't know where to start, but I guess there's a couple places you could try. Either you could try to head down to the shoals and see if you could track down more of the sea devils. Maybe try to talk with one down there. Or you could try to go through the warehouses maybe and see if there's anything obvious in any of those. I mean, they were kind of trying to break into them, and there's only, I don't know, maybe about a dozen of them. So it's not like there's that many here on this side of the river.
And while they're open, and we can, the guards we can show them this, and perhaps we can look through it, and maybe detect some things or have some resources that something might spring out on us, whether it's magical or religious or scientific. Like I said, our crew is very diverse and has different skills. So yes, that's an excellent place to start. And we are, well, we'll discuss this later, but we are looking to perhaps hire a crew. So at another time,
that's not something necessarily that I can help you with. But
no, I know. But you
there are some people in the docks though that specialize in gathering up people for crews. I mean,
you can tell us which ones are more reputable, but we don't need to talk about that now. Just
fair enough.
Dropping a line there. All right.
I think I might want to mention to him what actually happened to that courier with the reward money and how we helped.
Oh, okay. You mentioned that to him. He's like,
yeah. So just to let you know. I mean, that's
very
that he was ambushed, and and then we helped the guard up there catch the culprits and bring them to justice and stuff.
Well, I guess it is good for me to actually give me a quick persuasion roll, but you have advantage because of everything you guys have done so far.
My dumb stat.
It's your dumb stat. 14's still not bad. He's like,
Charisma.
He kind of looks at you for a little bit and says, well, that's actually pretty kind of you guys. Not many people would risk themselves for somebody else. It's well, I wasn't going to do this because we can't really, but I'm willing to pay you guys for this, for your investigation. He digs in the thing again and pulls out a big, not a big box, but a lock box, and pulls a thing out from underneath his tabard and unlocks it. And he looks in there and he takes one bag and he looks into it real quick and he's like, okay. And then he closes it and locks it back up and puts it in. And then he hands it to you, Hylough. He says, this is 25 platinum to get you started if you need to buy something.
Okay.
We'll consider it an advance on whatever you find in payment for that.
Well, thank you very much.
25 platinum is 250 gold, by the way.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. We will definitely find something. And perhaps help you with the like I said, we tend to run into things like this. They run into us, so we're better off right now to run this down. Especially since we had one of their creatures on our ship, and it's probably they could probably tell that at one point that he died there. So
Possibly.
well, I guess we're afoot then. Anyone else?
Thanks for your help. Let me, if you found anything, as soon as you find anything, let me know. If not, have somebody come by at dusk and let me know how you've been faring.
Of course.
Sure. We'll report back.
Well, that's right. We couldn't send a message. But all right, we'll do that.
And you guys are off.
All right, this is not in player, but we now have the authority of the police. Let's rob this place and go.
Let's go.
Okay, that was completely not in character. So
250 platinum is just
but I would never.
No,
but I would
it's
never
not
say that
250
loud.
platinum. It's 25
25 platinum. 250 gold is just the beginning.
Well, when we have the authority, we have this whole thing to make.
You guys
Anyway,
head
yeah.
out of the watch house, the guard house, and into the street. What are you guys doing?
So did he say that other warehouses around the city, or is mainly on the docks? I'm sorry. I missed
Most of the warehouses are on the docks.
Okay.
I do have sort of a map of the city of Maribal. It's just not turned into something.
Well,
but let me see.
most
if I
of them
can-
we'll probably start in the warehouses on the dock. Anyway, just curious if
Yeah, I was just gonna let you see it so you had an idea of what's going on. See if I can find it real quick. Don't know how quickly I'll be able to put this in, but it's also not. It's not exactly, but it's close enough.
Subject to change.
Yeah, I mean the way the buildings and stuff are set up are not exactly what I want, but the where the hell is it? No, that's not it. Do not see. Just need to find it. Yeah, here it is. So let me copy this into my spot and I'll give it a try. Yeah, so you guys head out into the street. What do you want to do next? Where do you want to head next, I should say, more than anything?
Well, let's see here. We got the let's go to the courthouse to find more news, like anything about the reward offered on the son of the missing,
Right. Yeah.
and or at least some of us can do that. Others can go other places, and then we can head to the warehouses, right?
I mean, are we close to
That'd be
town
cool.
hall?
Yeah, the town hall is going to be across the river. You're
That's
already
a pretty
in the
decent
docks.
ways. Yeah,
I'll show you
so
in a second. I have just kind of. Oh yeah, that's the right one. Gridless. Don't need a grid. Lighting, but you can see it. There changes. Yes. All right. So again, not exactly perfect, but this is sort of what Maribal looks like.
Out.
In a
yeah, I was gonna say it's a giant white green
yeah. No, you got to zoom in.
place. Yeah,
Wow.
that's a
So
big river. So the river's navigable then.
I have a
sort
small
of
boat.
for a bit by barges more than anything.
Okay, so it's
so
not.
you guys, there are also more docks here. Like I said, it's at the beginning of something. So you guys are here. This is the dock district. This is mostly the trades in here. The villas are kind of on the edge of this sort of stuff and sort of in this spot. This is more docks here, and then the squalls are kind of like there's sort of a cliffs. The cliffs kind of head up here. So there's a bit of a sand bit here, but it heads up to cliffs along here, and then further down the way there are some small hamlets and stuff like that.
those
Same
are
thing here. The
cliffs?
squalls are kind of right in here, and they kind of again head up into some kind of up against some cliffs that kind of come out. So this is sort of this is as you go out of town, it sort of goes up a little bit into sort of a rolling plain for quite a ways, but that sort of thing. Some of the buildings here on this area are not going to be quite the same way. Like I said, I generated this with a city generator, and then I was going to turn it into an actual map. I just haven't had a chance to. But you guys are currently in this part here. This is the main docks. It's a lot of warehouses, a few small shops, some butcher shops, a few inns, or an inn, a couple taverns, that sort of stuff. But mostly, and offices for various trading companies and stuff like that. There is a bridge. Actually, there's going to be two bridges. This one's there that go across into here, and in here, this particular area that's kind of cleared out is going to have where where there's a tower. Remember, I told you about the wizard tower, as well as the town hall.
And the gun towers coming in on
the gun towers are way south, like way south of here.
Okay, they're way out. So this is,
because remember, if I activate this. This is the city is right here, and the gun towers are way over here.
Okay, yeah, there's a big deal about that.
So they're quite a ways away. Go ahead.
The surrounding the harbor itself, is it roll up or is it straight cliffs that go up?
No, it's like they're like 30 feet cliffs. They're not super high.
Okay.
Like this comes down and kind of carved out a little bit. So there's a bit of cliff here, but it kind of goes in and out. So like there's probably a small hamlet here, maybe one over here. There's all of these plantations over here and that sort of stuff. So it's not this is
I don't have the vision like California super.
Yeah, it's not quite like that. Like again, it's sort of some rolling cliffs along this thing, which reach no more than like 30 feet high, but sort of like somewhat similar to like the south of San Francisco in some sense. So not super high cliffs. There's a bit of a beach. Occasionally, it kind of drops back down. You'll have a small hamlet there with some fishermen and things like that, like a fisher village that fish inside of the bay here. But that's about it.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, this is sort of what Maribel looks like. It's not perfect, but it was a place where I was going to start. This over here is where the fish market is. When they mentioned the market, the fish market. So this is an open air market. And there we go.
So
what are you guys doing?
We definitely could split up if Hylough, if you want to go and see what's going on down. The only thing is, is he the most respectable looking amongst us? What's your charisma?
It's maybe 9.
Oh. Well.
But I dress pretty charismatic.
But you have metal. I mean, your metal armor. You're big. You're
Well, he's a Corsair. He doesn't have metal armor.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Leather armor.
He's got leather. Yeah.
You just have the attitude of law and order, not the look. All right. So yeah, we need the people go with. We need someone that has detect magic and a religious specialist and a couple people with perception. If we're going to split up, which I'm not saying we should, but we definitely need those.
Well, could I get any information on the missing prince or whoever he is before we leave?
Well, from where?
From the guards here.
You've already got as much. Like he's been gone for a month. They've been trying to figure out where he's at.
Okay. That's really nothing else.
There really isn't anything else. Like the most you could probably also get is where he was last seen. But even that is he was last seen with his father at the warehouse here on the docks, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
So that's the most extra you'll get.
Okay. Well, then maybe we just stick to the docks and not have to worry about going to okay. All right. I don't let's just go to the.
But that's not what he wants you to figure out what the creatures want. So.
Yeah. I know. I was just gonna.
Thank you. I'm
multitask.
I'm glad you're interested, but really focus on the other thing. Is pretty much what he tell you.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm just thinking if there's some relation to the thing, we might be able to make some progress on that. But anyway, okay, that's fine. Let's go to the warehouses and
all right,
start knocking them out.
You guys start heading down towards. Do you want to start along the wharf first, along the docks first? Like, do you want to start down here first?
Actually,
or do you want to start internally more, or what do you want to do?
Let's talk to Iylis.
Hylough? Yep.
Yeah, because she might be able to tell us which warehouses tend to be a little below board. So we might look at those first.
All right, so you guys start heading back towards Silver Flame. Go ahead.
And the other thing I was thinking is that if the shark people had found it, they would have made that point. But so maybe we should start with any warehouses that were not broken into by them, not damaged.
So also valid. Maybe they were protected.
It's a pretty good point.
Very true.
All right.
The only good thing about them being looted right now is they're easier to get into because they're already damaged, so it wouldn't be. I think we could use our authority to get into them without. But
yeah, that's fine. Whatever we can. Well, that's fine.
No, yours is definitely valid. I'm okay either way.
Okay. Well, let's get to the Silver Flame.
You guys are walking that direction and kind of walking through the thing. You see people kind of going around doing their business. A couple. You see a couple children running your direction. Hylough, one kind of. He's clearly not paying attention where he's going and kind of bumps into you, and kind of falls back a little bit. And he kind of looks at him and is like, "Oh, mister, what was that?" Whatever. As another kid comes up and tags him and says, "You're it."
All right, can I do an observation to see if Hylough just got?
Well, you can give me a perception check if you want.
Yeah.
I'm checking for my money bag here.
As you're doing that, the one kind of gets up. The kid gets up again, and they start to continue. The one who tagged him starts to run off, and the other one starts to get up. So do your perception check.
The Marcus is doing the
Marcus is doing. He said he was checking.
Yeah.
Feeling they need to spread this money around here.
Ah, crap.
Yeah, the kid probably just ran into him. They were playing. It looked like they were playing tag. So he takes.
Can't trust these kids.
He stands up and takes off. Starts running after the other one.
I will make sure you've got everything.
Yeah. Do I have everything?
I'll eye where the kids run off to.
As you start to kind of feel up, any dagger you had on your side is missing.
Oh. I'm missing a dagger. They stole.
If you don't have a dagger, then one small item in your inventory is missing.
Okay, let me see here. I have. What do I have?
You're gonna get framed. They're gonna know it's your dagger that killed somebody.
Rations.
No, he doesn't have a dagger. So,
mess kit, small knife.
I guess the question is, how much money do you have? I mean, you have the platinum.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, but I'm holding on to that pretty tight. I'm not going to just casually drop that into a pocket or something like that.
That hand axe made of black metal is missing.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, they really took it.
Well, it's not that big.
Oh well, I mean, it's like it's heavy. It's got to be heavy, right?
It's made of black metal. It's not super heavy. But that does mean I need you to do one thing for me, Hylough. You need to give me a wisdom saving throw.
You want your medal back?
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, please say
normal.
My precious. It's been taken.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you notice it's missing, and you're like, damn it. But that's about it.
Okay. It'll affect somebody else. One of those kids is going to have a hard time in his life.
Yeah, so that's missing. If you want to go after them, I guess you could. I mean, they kind of run down the street and around the corner.
Yeah,
maybe we should go after him. I mean, leaving an axe. Well, it's your call. It's your thing. It's your call.
Yeah. I never had a chance to use it anyway. So here, I'm going to start whatever. I'm going to start secretly passing out.
Surreptitiously?
Yeah, there it is. Passing out some of this platinum, handing one or two to each person.
To everybody. I mean, you got 25, and there's like 7 of you. So
okay, so like
you could easily give everybody three
each, and then
you could probably give everybody 3, and you'd still have 4 left.
Nice, thanks.
Or you'd still have 7.
I'm palming it as I hand it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, everybody on their sheet, you do have a place for it. Put down 3 platinum.
And that would be 21, and you said there were 20, so 4 pieces left over?
Well, Hylough will still have 7 because he's
Okay, yeah,
given
that's
3
right.
to
Making
himself,
sure.
but then there's still 4 left. So
7. Yeah.
Okay. So we hire a bully to go beat those kids up to get the axe back.
Yeah.
So let's go to the
all right.
warehouse.
So
then.
it doesn't take very much longer to get to the Silver Flame, although I'm not trying to make this take much longer than it is anyway. But although you hear one more crier shout the following: "Thief caught attempting to steal from the vaults at the Silver Emporium."
Huh. Silver Emporium. Where is the Silver Emporium? I asked the crier.
You don't know, but the other guys had heard about it. Ella had mentioned that Silver Emporium was where artificers in the city are selling their goods, and it is in the trade district, so it's across the river.
Okay.
I forgot to ask. Remind me to ask or a note if we can have the ship that we brought in.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to ask. I mean, it could go to his
Otis
family,
was
too.
going to kind of come by and see it this morning, remember?
Yeah, okay. Well, no, I mean, if he doesn't do anything with it,
But
then...
more than likely, Otis is having bigger problems with the fact that there was an attack on the docks last night.
Yes.
Being the harbor master and all. Or at least the dock master on this side. There's a dock master on the other side, too. You guys make it to Silver Flame. Heading inside, you see a few people in there. You see a few bloodstains on the floor that haven't been fully cleaned up. And that being said, Yusuf is currently trying to scrub one of them up. Illa is behind the counter again. And she looks up to you guys and says, my friends from the last evening. Did you get a chance to speak Commander Kewen?
Actually, we did. This place doesn't even look bad in the daytime. It's pretty nice, actually.
Thank you, I think.
Doesn't even look bad in the daytime.
Compared to most bars. Yeah, actually, I'll have an ale.
All right.
Make it worth your while. And
pours an ale from a barrel behind. And
drunk before noon here.
And yes, we were able to talk to the captain, and he is asked for our help in finding what they were looking for, why the attack happened.
Fair enough. And seems like a worthy thing.
And you are the only person to talk to. You seem very knowledgeable about warehouses, which...
I'm not knowledgeable about warehouses. I just know a few things about the city, having lived here for so long.
You know who owns the warehouses, so we can make sure we don't offend anyone, or...
Well, most of the warehouses around here are various trade companies and merchants. Couple mining companies as well.
Are there any are they all usable within the shipping, or are they private?
Well, there are several. There are a few along the riverside that are mostly for barge traffic from the mines up in the Wailing Peaks. Sorry, not Wailing Hills.
I wouldn't think an item would be from the ocean would be in the barge. Be brought in the river, but
I don't know.
I guess we're looking. The people were looking for an item, and we're trying to see what it was. They tended to raid eating establishments and the warehouses. So I wouldn't think like a large trading company would necessarily have something unique like that they would keep there, but perhaps a warehouse that allows
some of these
people...
trading companies trade in a variety of things. I mean, exotic items are...
Is there one that is more so than the others?
Not that I know of. Morven is... Let's see. Morven is fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. He's plantation owner out of the thing. He's about 4 or 5 warehouses down. There is Hawk Trading Company. They have a warehouse around here. They're mostly wood and ore and things of that nature. They're sort of a subcontractor of a couple of the mining companies here who are smaller. They use the Hawk Trading Company to move items for them. There's there is the I cannot find the names of my stuff here. I cannot find my name. I could have swore I just saw it here, and now I can't see it. The Artificer Guild has a warehouse down here as well, but that's mostly, variety of manufactured goods and items of magic. There's also the Obsidian Mining Company, Obsidian Prospecting Company. They have a couple things down here. There's a couple other of the plantation owners. They have some warehouses down here as well, but the plantation owners tend to ship many different things. I mean, usually it's sugar or pineapple or other fruits, but sometimes it's other things. Sometimes it's they have something shipped in for themselves. Like most of the plantation owners are pretty wealthy, so they might get some kind of rug from Avelin shipped in, and so that would go into their warehouse briefly for a while, or things of that nature.
So if there's some place when I need to store things with your questions, is there a certain place I should go that you know of?
That's kind of a little bit out of my area of expertise, to be honest.
Well, that's fine. I thought maybe you'd heard something.
I mean, if you really need something of that nature, you could go to the Nest. It's across the river on the east docks. Briac might know a bit more of that.
Have we met Rhux, or is it somebody?
You don't know who Briac is. It sounds like he might be at least somebody who's at the Nest.
Right. Yeah. No, I didn't know if I'd met him. So then that's possible.
Yeah, you're not sure if you've met him. Right?
Yeah. Oh. Well, thank you. And the ale, of course, is good. You did mention Morven, and I heard a horrible thing about his son was kidnapped.
Yes, it's kind of the talk of the town for the last. Well, for a couple weeks ago, it was the talk of the town for a week or two, but nothing's really come of it over the last couple of weeks, from what I understand.
What did we hear about it in the?
His son is missing. There's a reward for him, for any information to help find him.
Okay. Looking back and forth, my crew, if anybody else wants to talk about this, so I'm not asking all the questions.
Guess not. It's a lot of quiet people today.
I guess. So Morven has a lot of money, obviously.
He's one of the larger plantation owners, yes.
Because Sev said that was one of the reasons it was harder to react to this, was because they were also looking for the son still. That's a long time.
Well, I mean, Morven has enough money to keep it fresh in their minds, and has the ear of the Lady Governor.
There we go. So that's
actually, I'm actually shocked that the Lady Governor hasn't tried to put in a word with the wizard and seeing if she can find him. But I don't know. The wizard is.
She may have. The wizard perhaps turned her down.
Maybe, but I don't know. The wizard tends to. Wizard Iden tends to keep to herself, from what I understand.
Wizard Iden?
Yep, Iden.
Well, thank you. We're hopefully we can get this done so this won't happen again.
Hope so. I hope so.
Huh.
Next time they
That's
might
cool.
actually start breaking everything down. And the Sea Devils from the last time they were here a couple of years ago aren't known for their hospitality if they take you under the waves, if you know what I mean.
So, why were they here a couple of years ago? What was their?
Raiding. They tended to raid the various places for food. And guess who was the food?
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
We're quite aware.
Sense.
But they stopped a couple of years ago, so maybe I don't. I mean, it was kind of abruptly. I mean, the City Watch and a bit of the Mergale Navy were involved in trying to push them back, and they attacked for maybe a month or so before they just stopped. The Navy took credit for it, of course, but as they are wont to do. But I don't know if they really. I mean, clearly they didn't end the scourge because they're back.
Were they asking for stolen items before? Do you know that?
No, they're mostly just taking people.
Gotcha. So now they think they're
This is
a
new.
little more justified, I guess.
Well, something has changed. They want
Yeah, something has changed.
from the sounds of it.
Interesting.
Was there any rumors why they stopped last time other than the Navy?
Not that I know of.
That's
It's not something I
scuttlebutt
really
or
cared about. As
something.
long as they stopped, I didn't really care.
Understandable.
also, has there been any rumors or heard anybody talking about ships coming from the Devil's Shoals or Muscle
Oh, there's
Shoals?
a few fishermen that still fish there.
And maybe they found something special that
Not that I know of. There is a couple. There's two guys that I know of that fish there. Ieston. He's again on the eastern docks. That's where most of the fishermen have their boats anyway. He claims that that's the best place to find pearls, and where he can find the best pearls. So that's where he tends to go. He's more of a pearl diver than a fisherman. But he and his son, he has his son throw out the nets while he's diving for pearls. So, and then there's Soleno. Soleno is another fisherman. He actually just goes there to fish, but I don't think he's been there in a couple weeks. I vaguely remember him coming in here a few weeks back or a couple weeks back saying he wasn't ever going to go there again because of the number of sharks, something like that. I don't remember exactly. And there's a salvage guy because of all the wrecks. He tends to go there every so often. What was his name? Lion? Maybe it's Lion. Leon Salvage. Yeah. He's actually down the docks all the way right before where the cliff starts to get too much for buildings to be. So at the far end of this docks. He might know something, I guess. It's possible.
I think that's a definite possibility.
Cool. Well, that gives us a lead, I think.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, the sooner we get started on this, the sooner we'll be done, and we can get back and be merchants again. So, thanks again.
Yeah, no problem. That's 2 copper for the ale.
Oh yeah, I slipped my mind. Yeah, I'll give it 3 copper.
Okay. And what are you guys doing? She kind of thanks you and hopefully we'll see you this evening.
Of course. Sounds good. This is the only place we know, so.
Oh, good. Let's keep it
And
that way.
the company's good.
Yusuf, that stain is not getting any better. That's what you hear as you're heading out the door. Where are you guys headed?
What do you guys think?
Wizard Tower?
There's a Wizard Tower. There's also the Silver Emporium, which come up a couple times, where the artificers sell goods.
Yeah, we should probably stop by there first. That would be fun.
Again, all of that stuff though is across the river. So
Yeah, it's not really.
just
What's
remember,
over here?
you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying it's like the Silver Emporium is going to be here in the trade district. Probably across the river. It's probably not too far. It's probably up in here. Based on what she just said, the fishermen are probably over here in this set of stuff near the squalls. You didn't necessarily get exactly where the nest is, but again, it's probably over here as well. And based on what she said about the salvage guy, he's probably over here somewhere.
We'd have to cross the bridge to the trade district to go over to the other side, unless we wanted to get into a rowboat.
Potentially, yeah, a rowboat or something like that.
Carried over.
And like I said, there are more docks here along the thing here. It's just I don't have when this thing generated, it only generated these two, which is really weird if you ask me.
It's really weird.
Yeah. I mean, my vote would probably be the salvage guy. I think that's an excellent lead right now. Any other
But we're not talking like a long walk. I mean, what are we talking like to get over to the other?
15. Well, to get, it took you maybe 10 minutes, maybe a little more than 10 minutes because you stopped to talk to the one guard who was dealing with the looter to get to the watch, which is kind of right here. The watch was actually not very far from the bridge over across the way. So, from the Silver Flame, which is going to be right around in here, to the watch was about 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. Mostly because, you're going through streets and stuff like that. There's no straight shot to it. So to get up to the Silver Emporium, maybe another 10 minutes after that, maybe a little longer. If you were going to walk all the way around to the docks over here, probably half an hour, something like that, 45 minutes. It all depends. Like you're going to cross through a bunch of things. You'll probably end up crossing through the market, which runs its own risks in the sense of you might want to stop and buy something.
Yeah. I hear there's a nice black axe with weird metal that just kind of showed up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my vote would be to stay on the side for the near future and definitely go talk to the salvage and get a story together. Perhaps we're looking for some mystical pearl or something along those lines.
Okay.
Or a vessel we've heard of that wrecked.
Iylis, give me an insight check.
Just a second. Gotta pull up my insight.
It occurs to you that maybe the Silver Emporium or even the Wizard in the Wizard Tower might have some form of spell or device or something that could help you communicate with the Sea Devils.
That's true. Hey guys, hey, look what I just thought of.
Well, that sounds like a thing we need to do.
No,
What did you just think of?
I'm just reminding you that you're in a magical world and there are things such as spells or devices that,
I know.
that help you do things.
Yeah, we have outside help we could get.
That's all.
We could potentially get something, even though I can't do this stuff and Praedyth can figure out how to talk to them. Doesn't mean that nobody else doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. I just was trying to point out that it's a high fantasy kind of world.
Yeah,
so,
you definitely had a locator.
So there are other things. There are other avenues. If you can't do something, there are other ways of potentially doing these things. I'm not saying you should go to the shoals or anything like that. I'm just trying to.
No, it'd be more fun, but yeah.
I'm just trying to remind you of this stuff. That's all.
What do you guys think? I said my vote was for the salvagers, but I definitely understand if we have some money now and
Let's
perhaps
split the party.
find something to, well, I mean, there is that
Pop
option.
over to Salvador's.
Buy and salvage is what it's called.
Yeah. Maybe ask some questions, or we could just go to the tower and then we won't have to piss anyone off by raiding their warehouse or looting through. Although that also can be fun to find out what's there and make a note of it.
Okay, so Lion Salvage it is for at least some of us, unless others want to go somewhere else. So
And split the party. I'll go to Lion Salvage.
I'll go with you. I've got the badge.
All right, Cat. Cole.
I would like to go to the salvage.
Okay. Brian. Praedyth. Dresd'a. Iylis. What are you guys doing?
I'm not really feeling splitting the party right now, so let's just go to the
Yeah.
salvage.
Yeah, I don't want to split the party either.
Okay. That's fine. I'm just asking. I'm making sure everybody gets a chance to do what they want to do.
Yeah,
Everybody just secure your stuff. Okay.
it's secure.
All right. I will remind Dresd'a at least that the thing that you had the vision or the dream about, where your sister talked to you, or your sister in this sense is the sister in your brotherhood, was called the Eternal Eye.
Yeah,
I think.
Eternal Eye.
I have to get up my notes.
that sounds right. Let's find the Eternal Eye.
I'm just reminding you that because it's possible maybe a wizard or something might know about that. It is called.
Where's the wizards here?
There's a tower. Iylis just talked about the wizard too.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys start heading down the dock towards the west, passing by a variety of a couple warehouses. One spot you kind of have to kind of go out of your way because it's actually a rather large dry dock. Looks like it could easily fit probably a galleon of some sort. So that's up against the actual dock itself. So you have to follow around it and get to the other side, and you go past a couple more docks or warehouses. As you get maybe about 15 minutes later, as you get to here, you actually notice one of the warehouses there has a sign on it that looks sort of like you guys would know it, coffee grounds, and you realize that this is probably Morven's grounds, that particular company, which is where a couple of the jobs were actually from the job board. Just letting you know.
Right, yeah.
You don't necessarily have to stop there, and just this is where that place is.
Was that the same? That's Morven.
Yeah, it's also Morven, the same. Yep.
Same guy.
Same guy. There were two jobs on the job board, one to Camergal, one to Emmerdal, both of them from Morven grounds. So this is clearly their warehouse. The jobs talked about going to an office in the trades, though. But clearly this is their warehouse. You guys continue on around, and as you kind of come around, you see a few, for lack of a better term, salvage companies. Salvage places. You can see sort of the boats. The boats themselves have sort of a crane kind of on them. There's two of these boats. There's a couple of docks here. There's two of them here. Probably two different companies. Really not heard of for one company to have a couple salvage things. It's kind of a hit or miss kind of industry, so to speak. So coming around here, you can see one here. The ship with the first ship you see is called it's called the Lion. So probably that's the guy. Seems kind of possible. And then there's a small is the wrong word. There's a warehouse, sort of an open warehouse kind of thing where it looks like they might tow things into, like potentially shipwrecks or boats or things like that. There's a semi-dry dock here as well, kind of thing. And you see, I don't know, maybe half dozen people doing stuff inside of the big warehouse, and you see a couple people on the boat. There are people on the boat that's further down. That's the next dock over. That one is called the Minnow. Don't get on it for a 3-hour tour.
There you go.
And I'm going to get on it for a 3-hour tour.
4-hour tours are okay. 3-hour tours are not.
No.
Are you going to be Professor or Marianne? That's all I need to know.
What are you guys doing?
Are any of the vessels we pass, or any of those vessels seem to have been attacked by the?
I mean, as you've been walking down the dock, you can see the evidence of the attack. Like, definitely some of the like Morven grounds, that warehouse clearly got broken into. There you see people like some carpenters and stuff trying to put the doors back together and stuff like that while you go past. A few others, it looks like maybe they fought off whoever the creatures were because they don't look as broken into. You can see a few with a couple of the warehouses have broken windows, but the doors still seem to be intact. So they weren't necessarily broken fully into, but the dry dock looked like it was mostly untouched. Also because it literally just had a ship in it, and that's it. Not a big one. It had what looks like maybe a sloop of some sort being fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's evidence of the attack. Some more heavily damaged than others.
Are there more bodies of the sharks around anyone, or have they all been?
Well, at this
taken
point
away?
in time, they've pretty much either been thrown into the ocean or burned or something like that. Like this happened at midnight or so, and Night Guard probably was cleaning it up, and gravediggers might have come through and cleaned it up, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
You can see evidence of where some of the bodies probably fell. They had a distinctive kind of bluish green blood, and so there's a sort of some of those smears here and there. Occasionally, you'll see a red smear intermingled with it. So definitely some people died as well.
All right, but nothing like they were obviously grouping here and tried stronger to get into a certain place. It's just
not really, not at least not this direction that you see.
Okay. Let's go talk
But
to Ryan.
you're up to the salvage spot at this point. Which took you about half an hour. All right. So what do you guys do?
Ahoy! Actually, is it a shop or is it on the ship?
So there's a warehouse kind of shop kind of thing that's at the end of that's across from the dock where the ship is. So there's people on the ship and there's people in the warehouse.
Let's go in the warehouse.
All right. So you head over to the
Or
warehouse.
the shop.
I mean, it's kind of an office kind of on the side of the warehouse kind of thing. You head to there. As you're kind of looking in, the doors are open on the warehouse. It does look like there's some damage on it, so clearly they did attack here as well, but not very much. I mean, not as much as some of the other places. Maybe it's just because it's so far to the west, where the bulk of things are here. Maybe it's because it's up against a cliff, and so it's just maybe there's. You're not sure why there would be that difference, but there is sort of a difference here. Heading into the office, there is nobody in there. I mean, you saw people in the warehouse, but nobody in here, at least initially. After about a minute or so, the door going into the warehouse opens up. Clearly somebody saw you head into the office. And a guy who's maybe 5'2", pretty short guy, comes up and he says, "Hi, what can I do for you?" Park your car.
Oh.
Sorry. Had to do it. What can I do for you?
I'm Marcus of the Widow.
Oh, Marcus, good to meet you. My name's Lion.
Hey, Lion. You're actually the person I was looking for. We were involved in that terrible attack last night, and
You were attacking people? That seems kind of rude.
No, the shark people attacked us, but no accounting for taste. I guess
Oh,
they kept
the
trying to
sea
eat us
devils
all.
are attacking you, were they? Huh.
Yes, they did not come here.
We
Seems
had a
like they were all up
couple.
and down
There's a
the.
couple attacking over on the way.
It
Banging
seems
on
like
the
they're up and down the
doors.
dock.
Banging on the doors. We have a single cannon. We blew it once, and they kind of left.
Well, that'll do it. You know.
Afraid of loud noises, which is weird because it was thunder and lightning last night, and they didn't seem to have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So you've run into him before? Because we were trying to find.
I've
to
seen
talk
him
to
a few times.
We're trying to find what they were here for. We're helping the guard. They've asked us to look into things and
Helping the guard, are you? It's very right, upstanding citizens of you. All right, that you are. Huh.
if we get this over with, then we can go back to this being a profitable seaport, and we can do trade. So, but have you been out to the city itself, out to the shark area?
The Devil Shoals.
The Devil Shoals.
Yeah, he looked confused for a minute. It's like, oh, the Devil Shoals. Yeah, we've been there a few times in the last, I don't know, a couple of months. There's lots of wrecks up against the reefs and the rocks up there. I keep hearing tell of a Solari galleon that has full of gold that's supposedly there somewhere, but haven't been able to find it yet.
But you're looking, I'm sure.
I'm looking. We'll find it eventually. We found a few other places though. In fact, there's one of them in the warehouse here now. Not Solari gold or anything of that nature, but it was a small merchant vessel that had some stuff. Probably got blown off course into the rocks.
Had it been under long?
Oh, it looked like maybe it had been there a year or two. Barnacles coral had started to grow on it. It'd been there for a while.
Yeah, that's fate that all of us who sail the seas would rather not have. To go down in the ocean is one thing, but to be blown off course into rocks.
Well, I mean, most merchant ships don't go by there, but if this one was coming up to Maribel here, maybe it's possible that it got blown in by a squall into it and sank.
Did you just find it?
I found it. Well, the part we brought in now we just got a week ago, but we found it a month and a half ago or something like that.
Yeah, we need to take a look at this stuff. I mean, we should be looking at what he's been bringing in because it's.
Well, yeah, we're trying to find if anything you know of that these people would be anything they would be attracted to on the ship. I think
that was a merchant vessel. I don't know of anything that would have been just a plain merchant vessel. Stuff. Okay. I mean, the cargo seemed to have been mostly metal ingots of some sort. We haven't. It looks like mostly iron, but maybe a few other things like some bauxite or stuff like that.
Can I do an insight roll to
can.
see if he's hiding anything?
Sure.
Crappy insight.
That just means you trust people too much.
12, I believe, is the roll. Yeah.
He definitely seems shifty. Whether he's hiding something, hard to say. But he definitely seems shifty.
Yeah.
Metal. Yeah, it's like metal ingots and stuff like that. If I had to say, it probably the ship was a golden mist that we were able to get off the thing. When I did check with the harbor master about it, he did say that a couple of years ago, like 1286, 1285, somewhere in there, a golden mist used to come in and do trade between here and Regal, taking iron ore and things like that. So checks out.
So, yeah. Well, what else? What unusual objects have you brought in from these ships? Things that just does seem like they might be a little out of place or whatever.
Well, I mean, we find some interesting artifacts every so often. There are some ruins under there. I mean, under the water there. They look like stair-step pyramids. But I mean, they're like a good 20-30 feet underwater, maybe more.
Anybody diving down there to get stuff?
Well, of course, that's what we do.
Oh, I mean, that far down.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the wrecks are down that far, so that's how I even know that stuff is even there.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. Did you explain to him that what the fish are looking for something?
I've mentioned it, but
he did mention it. Marcus did
about.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And said that's what's going on, but I have mentioned that. Yeah, we think they're looking for something.
Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to find this thing that the shark people are looking for, and give it back to them, or else they're going to keep coming back and they're going to keep killing us. and destroying this area. And they might come
I don't
back
know what
stronger.
to tell you, sir. I don't know of anything that we've taken from any of their stuff. Like the ruins that I see, we haven't gone into any of those, and I don't know. Like, I think the last time we tried to look inside of those things was like 6 months ago.
So,
how do you go down? Do you have Do you have devices that allow you
it's
to?
like, wow, you guys ask a lot of questions.
No, I was actually.
Can you
going to ask.
show? Can you prove to me that you're working with the guards? Like, we're getting a little. You're starting to ask how I do my business and things like that.
No, yes, we can.
flashing the badge.
You flash the badge. He looks at. He's like, all right, well, okay, come on. I'll show you how we go down. And he opens up the door and goes into the warehouse portion. You guys follow?
Yes.
All right, so you guys head in, and as you come in, you can see there is a barnacle kind of coral kind of covered, what looks like maybe the upper deck and the front upper deck of a ship kind of in there that they seem to be pulling things off of, like not just the coral, but like the ship itself had some like what looked like you can see where the golden mist name was, because they've pulled it off, so you can see it, the void,
Interesting.
the void where the stuff was, and it's very clear that portions of the ship that they're doing stuff with is plated with gold, which is probably what they're extracting off of the ship right now. But he takes you past a little bit past that, a little deeper into the warehouse.
Are there any markings that we could tell from this far away, like the shark people actually climbed up the metal or been there?
Well, like I said, you saw evidence of the doors getting.
No, I meant on the ship.
No, you don't see any evidence of any.
Okay, I didn't know if I was close enough to.
It's basically barnacles and coral, and it looks like this thing was probably slowly becoming a reef, and they've ripped it out of the sea because it would be a lot easier for them to just tow it back in and take the gold off here than it would have been to do it underwater. Basically, that's the gist you're getting here. But past that, he shows you basically on what looks like a wooden pallet, basically about a 3-foot wide bell. He's like, this is what we use. You put it in and drop it. You see the crane on the ship. You attach it to that, and it goes down in the water, straight up and down. We get in underneath it. There's an air pocket. We can get down a good 50, 60, 70 feet.
That's a genius. Did you come up with this yourself?
Very interesting.
Sure, yeah, totally did. No. I got a friend in the Artificer Guild. He came up with it.
Huh. Well, do you ever hire your boats out to say we had to go out and investigate the actual
Of course,
city
we
itself?
always hire out. That's another way we can make some money. If you want to do a tour, we just ask for a percentage of any kind of salvaging you do.
Approximately how much would that be? Go out.
Just to go out and look around.
Well,
time.
salvage.
Basically, it'd be time. If you're doing salvage, it'd be a 50-50 split.
But that would not. So that would just be whatever we find 50-50.
Yep.
There's no base fee for the vessel.
I mean, sure. There's probably we would probably like 25 gold per day.
Ah, okay.
That's
Okay.
just operating costs. It's nothing more than that.
No, I mean, I wouldn't want to. You have your time with
Probably
money.
would be
So.
closer to 10 gold, so he's probably definitely gone up.
Yeah,
but it's a salvage thing. He's got an unusual ship, so
yeah. I mean, we could always sail our own boat out there, but he knows the area.
yeah.
I'm just thinking for future.
You could also just see if he wants to join you on your ship and just guide you. That's also another possibility.
That's true too. But we don't have a diving bell.
You do not have a diving bell or a crane to lower it into the water.
Yes, I've got mage hands.
Neither of these things.
If it's
can
no
happen.
more than 5
However,
or 10 pounds.
I will remind you that you do have Rhux, who can give 4 people
that
water
too, but-
breathing for 24 hours. So,
Oh, see that. Yeah.
so he's a
Alright.
little bit better than a diving bell. Looking around the warehouse, you saw the thing that was in the thing. You see this diving bell kind of on the thing on a pallet kind of thing on some stone. You know, it's just sitting up off the floor. You can also see over in one corner a bunch of, for lack of a better term, tanks. Like they're tanks, the glass tanks, and you can see that there actually is water in them, but it looks more like seawater than regular water.
Are they large enough to hold one of these fish people, or are they small?
No,
like a
they're
fish
probably
tank?
like large. They're large enough to hold fish, but probably not one of the fish people. Like the fish people were, you know,
Yeah, they were super tall.
6 foot plus, and this thing isn't that big. Think of it as like a big aquarium tank. So could you fit somebody in there, one of those guys in there? Maybe they'd have to you know, bend over or something, but they could.
So ask him what's in the tanks.
He's like, looks over the tanks. He's like, oh, that's just some seawater. We occasionally we try to, when salvaging is a little slow, like we don't find anything new, we catch some fish, put the fish in there, and then sell it to people. You would not believe the number of plantation owners and wealthy guys that just want some strange fish.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. People with money have strange tastes.
Have you brought any of those strange fish back lately?
He's like, I think the last time we did a fish run was maybe a month ago.
And who
Hey,
was
Lyle,
it?
Lyle, when did we get those the blue sunfish? Like, oh, that would have been I don't know, like 4 weeks back, 5 weeks back. Yeah, so there you go, about 5 weeks ago.
And who did you sell them to?
The blue sunfish? I don't know, one of the wealthy guys out, one of the wealthy plantation owner.
Was it Morven?
No, Morven would never buy this sort of stuff. He's not that kind of. He's not into fish. Seems. I've tried before. He doesn't like it. Was a guy named Martin Sklar, I believe.
You know how many red herrings you probably made me type down?
Yeah. I'm gonna do an insight, see if he's
sure.
if I can
Go
tell
ahead.
if he's like telling me the truth. Or if I can
Again,
tell.
he's kind of shifty. Definitely. Well, there's a kernel of truth to this for sure.
That's all good lies have.
Yeah, but something is off about what he's talking about. Like maybe not like actually, Hylough, give me an intelligence check. Or nature, whichever one you want to do. Whichever is better.
Which is intelligence, yeah.
Yeah, whichever is better. Well, but if you have points of nature, it will
Yeah, I
be
don't
better,
know.
is all
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think I have anything. I'm unnatural.
Yeah, I mean, something's right at the tip of your tongue about the blue sunfish stuff. Like, it seems it's like you should know more about that, but you just can't remember.
So I'll turn and ask somebody else. Is it? Anybody know anything more about this exotic fish stuff that he's talking about?
I shall
Are
attempt
you saying
at
it out
nature.
loud or
Yeah, sort of whispering
Okay.
to
Are you trying to make it so he doesn't hear the question? Is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Good
All right.
model. You know. Can I nature check it?
Oh yeah, you can.
Nope.
Well, given the fact that most of your nature is about woods and forests, doesn't shock me. You really don't know
There
what he's
could
talking
be
about.
rivers. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure what's going on here. Something's not right about this. I don't know. Can't put my finger on it, but something's not right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he was the last one to buy something from us. At least some fish. Occasionally, we sell some of the items we find inside of the ships and stuff to various collectors and things like that around here, but haven't really had anything to sell there in a while. I mean, Mostly all we've been getting lately is stuff like this, where ingots out of the ships, or gold plating off of them. I'm getting worried that we've found almost everything in the shoals.
Do you ever need these things transported? We do have a ship, so if you're looking to transport or expand, we potentially could help you
I'm not
there.
really looking to, but if your ship goes down, I'll try to find it for you and salvage it.
Well, hopefully I won't be on it, so maybe I'll talk to you about that afterwards.
I see how it is.
All right.
It's just a little bit of salvaging humor there, young man.
Salvaging humor.
Well,
I mean, I don't know how else to help you. I mean,
no, you've helped a lot. Thank you. It's just helping. We're trying to
Just let us know if you come
just
across
fishing
anything.
in a big sea, so we're trying to find.
I will because I told you and you asked about it. Hylough and anybody can give me a perception check as you're kind of looking around when you're looking at the tanks and stuff like that. I should have had you do this before.
Okay.
Oh,
There we go.
Perception tank on the tanks. I'm so perceptive.
and Praedyth. I am not.
Well, I mean, Marcus, Praedyth, and Iylis, you kind of all notice the same thing, which is there is an odd bluish green kind of stain on the floor next to the tanks.
Okay.
It's maybe about maybe 6 inches in diameter, kind of like almost not perfectly circular stain, but sort of elongated a little bit in one direction kind of stain. And it's kind of faint, so it's not like it's not like it looks like the blue green liquid that, blood that you're seeing on the docks that's still rather fresh. It's kind of faint on the floor.
Could it have been someone like one of the blue? The leader was blue in Fishkeep, correct? He was actually blue.
Yeah, he was blue, but I mean the blood for all of them was kind of a bluish green.
Just ask him.
Well,
What is it?
no, I'm not gonna. I don't. You're welcome to.
Well, I don't see it.
Hylough didn't notice it, so.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just saying, like, I mean, why wouldn't you ask the guy what this
Oh.
is?
Hey,
Just trying to figure out
what's this goop?
No, like I said, it's very faint. It's not like it's anything. I mean, it's you barely noticed it. Like you needed a 15 or higher to see it. So
I see.
Didn't have an accident there, did you? That's unusual.
Oh
Point
yeah,
out
there's a. We dropped one of the sunfish out one time, and it kind of splattered on the ground. Kind of was an accident. Lost us 15 gold, so that's so great.
An expensive accident.
Yeah, very expensive accident.
Do they come in? Do these sunfish? Do you get a lot of them? I mean, they're actually like schools of these things.
Between you and me, there's hundreds of them out at the shoals. They're all over in the reefs, but the rich guys, they don't know any better. It just is a fish that's about a dinner plate size that they can put in a tank and say, "Look, I've got this cool thing." Half of them die within about a week or so after I get them to them, and then they ask for more of them.
That's a good hook.
That's the reason why when things get slow, this is what keeps me afloat.
That is astute. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Anyone else have anything? We've got other places to talk to. Other people to talk to.
All right. Yeah, no problem. Let me walk you out. Like I said, if you need any salvaging, come on by. We can certainly help you.
I'm sure.
Anybody else salvage in that area? Besides you? Are you the only one?
I mean, me and the competitor over there, not really competitive too much. We both go at different places. He tends to go around to the. There's another rather rocky and reef spot on the north side of the island. So, we used to duke it out over the shoals since they're the closer one, but I showed him why it would be better for him to go the long way. Let's just leave it at that.
Professional courtesy.
Something like that.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know what else to say.
Thanks.
All right, you guys head on out and start heading down the docks. What are you
So-
doing after that?
As we were away and talking in a lower voice, I came over.
Marcus, you're pretty sure that most fish in the sea do not have a bluish green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Splat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking maybe it was an egg or a little one of the sea people, or it's definitely. I think that's definitely has to do with it. But we don't know enough about the sea people, and we didn't get who he sold. Did he say who he sold it to?
Yeah, he said he sold one of the blue sunfish to a Martin Sklar.
That's probably who should we talk to next.
Yeah. Why don't we stop by the competitor and just make sure that he doesn't go down there? He's been.
You head across and over to the next dock, which that's where it is.
My kingdom for detect magic spell.
There is a smaller warehouse there. It doesn't look like it could really fit a ship. There's another ship. The ship is more trawler sized. Like it looks more like a trawler than it does a salvage ship vessel. A trawler in this sense is a medieval trawler, so it's maybe about a 40-foot ship. Just 2 decks and a bilge. That's pretty much all it is. It does have a crane on it, but it's a much smaller one. And it becomes pretty obvious why when you get there, when you kind of come around and you see that the entire crew looks to be halfling.
Oh, excellent.
It's a halfling sized ship.
I see.
The little people.
Yeah, so a couple of them look at you, and one says, Alphen, some people are here. And you hear a voice from back.
Theodore and Dresd'a.
Alphen, and you hear a female voice say, "Okay, I'm coming." And female kind of wiping her brow, female halfling looks over the board and says, "Hey, may I help you?"
Yeah, we understand that you're the competitor of the guy across the way there.
Oh, Lion, yes.
Lion, yeah.
We both do salvaging. I wouldn't necessarily call us competitors.
He says that he's kind of chased you off the Devil's Shoals. Or that's my inference
not
of what
so
he was
many
saying.
words,
Yes.
Yeah, this Devil's Shoals is pretty much picked over. So, not a lot there. Occasionally he finds something, but not very often.
Have you been there to find anything?
I haven't went there in maybe a year or so.
He was telling us about these blue sunfish.
Yeah, blue sunfish. They exist in the waters around here.
Are
Relatively
they
common.
They're common. Okay. When they're dropped, do they leave a blue-green stain? Or something like that? I'm trying to get the.
She looks really perplexed by such a question. She's like, no, not that I know of.
Well, what kind of fish thing coming out of the sea would do that?
Blue-green stain.
Maybe blue-green blood or something.
Actually, have to make her make a roll. I mean, how big is the stain?
They saw it.
Show them. We're investigating the attacks from last night, and we're trying to find.
Oh yeah, that's some nasty business. Luckily, they stayed away from my stuff. I would have shot them full of spears.
Well, I mean,
Spears.
with the cannon going off, so I'm sure that.
Yeah, that definitely helped. Lion and I, we don't necessarily see eye to eye, but that was actually a good plan on his part.
So that's all it took to keep them away. More people should learn that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think many people know. They haven't attacked in so long that probably had forgotten what actually gets rid of them. And I don't even remember. The batteries were put in 5 years ago at the mouth of the bay. So sure we would have had some cannons around here. Maybe that's how the Mercantile Navy got them to leave. Huh. Anyway, how big did you say the stain was?
So we're like make a motion of how big it is.
That's kind of big. Maybe whale egg, maybe? Whale roe? Probably what she would have said, because
Why would he have that?
I don't know. I don't know of any whales that spawn around here.
Do the sunfish have eggs? You ever
Oh,
seen
sure.
them?
All fish have roe at some point. That's how they
But,
procreate.
but
But
you've never seen-
they'd be maybe the size of, a marble or something like that.
You've never seen an egg this size, other than, I mean,
Whales would probably
When you
have an
travel-
egg that size.
What about the shark people, the devils, sea devils? Do they have eggs?
I don't know. They live in the sea, maybe.
Okay, you've never seen anything like that.
No, I don't try to go find shark people.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I tend to stay
that's
away
why you
from
live
them.
longer. Well, like I said, we're trying to help figure out what's going on. We talked to Lion a while. We're hoping perhaps you knew something, because he did say you had at one point gone in the area.
Oh,
and-
sure. I mean, there was lots of wrecks in there. I mean, Maribel's been here for maybe a couple hundred years now, maybe a few more, maybe 300 now that I think about it. Originally sort of a small port mining town. A lot of ships would come back and forth in here, and initially no one knew how dangerous that area was for shipping, so many ships got blown into there or accidentally went in that direction because they didn't know better. So there was a lot of ships from in there over the last couple of hundred years, but eventually people started to figure it out. Now occasionally, every so often, a ship does get blown into there with a bad squall or a bad storm. I
like
think
that
that's
golden
that
mist
last one
he
that he's found right now. That one, I think, is probably, like I said, probably within the last few years. But there hasn't been anything really crashed in there in quite some time. Anything of real value. There is one galleon from the Solari city-states that still hasn't been found yet, but I don't even think it's there anyway, to be honest.
Which one is that?
The Solari Gambit.
That the same one he was talking about? Yeah, it was, right?
It's the same one he was talking about. He didn't give you a name, but it sounds like the same one. Full of gold, they say, and the several of the city-states of Solari would pay handsomely to get that stuff back. Even I've heard tell that even if they gave you 1% of the value of it, you'd be set for life.
That's something, but no one knows anywhere it went down. Did it
It
go
was
around
blown
here,
off
or-
course, and no one knows where. They just know that it was last seen here between the Arch Isles and North Ferran, which is a large swath of sea to try to find it in. And some of these places can be quite deep. There's a pretty good trench, not too far, maybe about 25 miles out from here, that goes down a good 300-400 feet.
You think the short people would go there for a living to live?
Maybe they do. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
It's too far down for me and my crew here to dive, so we don't go there either. We're over on the north side now.
You have one of those bells too, then?
She kind of smiles a little bit and says, let's just say we've made better decisions in the past than Lion has. And we just use water breathing potions.
I wondered why he didn't do that.
I mean,
That's
looking
more
at the
friendly.
difference between these two, their ship is smaller. The halfling ship is smaller, but it looks better upkept than the other one does. The warehouse is a bit smaller, but again looks better kept up than the other one does. So it definitely looks like she is doing a little bit better than he is in terms of at least in terms of
Upkeep and
of making sure that the money goes to the right places.
all right. Anyone, anything?
Yeah.
Like I said, we're just hoping to stop this because a lot of people were killed last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been there in a while. If Lion told you stuff, then he's the one that's been there the most recently. There's a couple fishermen that I hear go there, but they're going to be way over on the other docks. But most people stay away from it just because of all the sharks.
Can you tell us their names, fishermen?
I don't know all the fishermen. There's a lot of fishermen around here.
Well, the ones you said were on the go to the dock. Do you know any specifically we should ask?
The only one I know for sure is Iaston. He's a pearl
Fishing
diver.
Devil City. Right. Okay, same one.
And he's right to go there because I don't think there's been very many people pearl diving there in quite some time. So there's a lot of good ones.
Well, sharks will keep them away.
The sharks, yeah, you should go talk to him and ask him about the scars on the side he has from the one shark that got him.
We'll have to do that. Perhaps he knows something about how the eggs. So.
Yeah, no problem. If you need any help or anything, just ask for Alphen.
All right. Do you hire your ship out as well?
Yeah, although accommodations are a bit smaller.
Just makes it cozier.
That it does. And she gives you a wink.
Smile back at it. All right. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
She turns and it's like, what are you two looking at? Get back to work.
Perception check. Anything unusual on there? Are there any of the halflings looking specifically guilty? Or I don't expect that
go
to
ahead.
be anything, but
Give that perception check.
it does not hurt to check.
I mean, like I said, it looks better upkeep. You don't. I mean, with that roll, you notice that Alphen definitely had a necklace on that had what you think might actually be shark teeth on it. Actually.
Oh wow.
And there is, but there's nothing really. There's nothing on the ship that you would consider illicit or illegal or odd or anything like that. As you're kind of looking around it.
Gotcha.
The halflings all look pretty straightforward. I mean, they're halfling sailors, so they kind of have the same kind of sailor look that most sailors do.
They probably stay together because they're all halflings, so they won't trade them. A little more loyal with the crew.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
You guys want to where to now?
Where to now? That is a question I would ask as well.
You want to check out the Wizard's Tower so we can try to get some direction about finding that Eternal Eye thing?
Oh, I mean, definitely could help. Couldn't hurt, and we can maybe find something that could find, or maybe that can identify a blue.
Sorry, Marcus, the 20. Because it's a natural 20, I should have told you this too. As you were looking around, you realized, kind of as you turn after looking in the thing, you realize that Lion is standing in the open doorway of the warehouse, watching you, and he kind of notices you look in his direction and kind of starts just walking into the warehouse. But it was very clear he was
I
watching.
figured that would be. Yeah,
watching your group, not necessarily you specifically.
Does he have a scowl on it? Do I notice his expression, or is he just
Lion eyes?
Maybe he's probably about 60 feet away or something like that. Maybe closer to 100. Maybe not a scowl, but maybe a look of concern on his face.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so let's go to the Wizard Tower. Here, what does everyone think? What do you think we found so far? Real fast.
Well, we have a lead on a pearl diver, and we have the person that bought the blue sunfish supposedly, and things like that. And then we have the tower and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, you have Iaston, who's the pearl diver. You have Seleno, I think is what I gave you for.
Yes, the
other
fishes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The guy who bought something is Martin Sklar, And
Did he say how long ago that was?
you didn't ask.
Hmm.
I mean, the last time he said he got fish was about a month ago, but whether he sold them a month ago, you're not sure.
Yeah. So that whatever he sold might still be alive.
Yeah. So those are the things you currently have.
Oh.
As you guys are walking back along the docks, back towards your ship.
We've also got the blue stain, which obviously has something to do with it. We've got the glass tubes, which could hold an egg or perhaps some. I mean,
well, no, the tank was, think of it as like a, probably a 40-gallon tank or something like that.
But I mean, if they were trying to keep an egg alive, perhaps, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's not like a tube; it's an actual like tank.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, I knew it was a tank, like fish tank.
That's all I was trying to say.
It won't go for a full fish person. Maybe a fish child or a fish egg or something like that. Would it actually 40 gallons? Okay, I have no idea how large.
40-gallon tank is. The tank that you saw, there was 2 tanks, by the way.
Okay.
And the tanks that you saw were probably about 2 foot by 4 foot by about 2 foot tall. So.
Oh, okay, that's really small.
Yeah. So that's why I say it wasn't really realistic to think that one of the sea devils could fit in it, but they could if they were kind of crouched up and, they could, but it would be a very tight fit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or they were a child or they were an egg. So. Something like that. Well, maybe the wizard will know. Yeah, let's do the wizard tower next.
Cool.
Okay, and then we can always split. And some people, what time is it? How much time will we wait?
It's probably getting on to like mid-morning, so maybe 10, something like that. As you guys kind of come around here and pass by Morven's warehouse again and continue, you hit the dry dock again, and at that point you have 2 options. You can either head kind of north and try to cross over the river, or you could head to the Silver Flame in your ship. What are you guys doing?
Well, and here's a thought, guys. Here's a thought, team. Team Widowmaker, go. If we use this opportunity to investigate Morven's warehouse, maybe we could find someone who might have had something to do with his son. Potentially. Where we may not have the opportunity to go into his warehouse later. If you guys wanted to go to the Wizard's Tower, then some of us could go to the warehouse, or we can all go to the warehouse. We're just kind of an unwieldy group right now. What are those? 6 or 7 of us all around.
Well, I definitely want to go to the Wizard Tower.
Plus, John's tired of talking because he's talked all day. So.
Yeah, let's go to the Wizard Tower and let Iylis talk.
Okay.
All
right, you guys head north and head towards the
Wizard's Tower,
the bridge over the river. Again, it takes maybe about 5 more minutes to get to that, or a little more than 5 minutes, actually closer to 10. And you start heading over the river. The river is relatively lazily flowing in down underneath. It's about 60 feet across, so it's relatively wide. But even from here, as you kind of are going over, you can see that it maybe is no more than 3 or 4 feet deep, maybe 5 feet at the most. So it's not very deep at all.
Gotcha.
But you can see a little bit of boat traffic on it, mostly small rowboats or little skiff kind of things. There's one barge that is coming. When you look up the river, it's slowly coming down the river. It looks to have a bunch of crates and stuff on it, so it's definitely being used as a mode of transportation for things. Continuing across the bridge, which is a stone bridge, and with a single arch. There is no pylon in the center, so it's a single arch that does the whole 60 feet. Very well put together. As you're going across, you can see how the stonework and stuff is in there. It looks to be pretty solid.
Gotcha.
And all that sort of stuff. You make it across, and the buildings change a bit. Like everything here seems to be a little bit more, a little better upkept. The paint is a little bit brighter. like it's a little more fresh. The clientele, the people, are dressed in a little more color, a little bit finer, not super finer, like it's still mostly linens and things of that nature. But it's definitely a little bit like the linens aren't just all brown or dark. There's some color in things, and people are sometimes wearing you know, a shirt, a doubloon shirt, double-breasted shirt. You know what I mean?
Right.
A doublet or whatever the hell it is. And that sort of stuff. So a little bit better stuff. And as you start walking through here in the districts, in this district, you can see there's more of the buildings are shop on the bottom and sort of a domicile on the top kind of thing. So more of the traditional medieval village that you would expect. You know, things are kind of next to each other. Then you get to another street that kind of winds in amongst itself. As you came across the river, though, and you look north, you could definitely see the tower. There is definitely a tower up here, kind of right in here. That is, this whole thing right here is sort of greenery with a few buildings on it. So the civic building and stuff like that it's pretty clear. You can see the town hall and stuff in here, and a few other buildings in here. Probably the main watch house. Probably probably a well, this is also where the theater is. The what's it called? Suddenly my names are escaping me. The Siren's Lament, and a few things like that. But there's a tower right here, just sort of inside of that stuff. And it looks to be maybe 60, 70 feet tall from where you're standing as you cross over the river.
Cool.
You head down the street, and continue down this street, and then cross over. And as you're heading up the street, the tower seems to change in size a little bit. What you thought was like 60 or 70 feet seems to soar to now what looks like maybe closer to 100 to 120 feet. It gets larger and larger as you get closer.
Pretty good wizard tower then.
Bigger on the outside.
And as you kind of come around here and into the thing, you notice that this whole area is walled. There's a wall around it. And the gate is up heading into it, but there are two of the Argent Watch on either side of it, two on either side of the gate that's going in, and you can also see that there's two more on the inside, also looking onto the inside. As you head in, they glance your direction but don't stop you. And you head in, and you're sort of in a garden is not the right word. Think of it as the plaza of this area. So there's sort of a green that heads into it. You kind of get the feeling that maybe this is what's called the lawn, where the blossom festival is going to be, because you can see that there's a bunch of stuff set up on it. Remember, the Festival of Blossoms is tomorrow. It's the next day. And you can see a wide variety of tents have been put up in here, varying types. You know, you would almost call it a carnival, but it doesn't quite exactly like a carnival. It looks a little more. Carnival's not the right word. Like you don't see cages for animals and stuff like that. That would be part of a carnival. You don't see, but you do see tents that might have a show and stuff like that in it as part
Or
of
like a fair or Renaissance.
Yeah, more like a fair kind of thing. And you can see that there are a few people already starting to do stuff. You can see some jugglers in there kind of walking around, and a few people have already started to go in through the thing. Most of the people, though, you see are still of this higher quality is not the right word, but wearing better clothing and stuff like that. Coming around the corner, though, here's the tower. The tower at the base looks to be maybe 30 feet in diameter, and it goes like you're looking at it and you have to look up and up and up. There is a small lawn around it and a small stone wall also around it, about 10 feet from the base of the tower. Getting to there is a gate, and it does seem to be closed, but there are no guards on it. What are you guys doing?
Walk up to the front door.
Well, you get to the gate, and you notice that when you try to open it, it's locked.
Man. Well, is there like a way to alert whoever is inside? I'm gonna look around for that.
Give me a perception.
Doorbell?
Doorbell. Just holler out.
The gate's kind of far from the tower, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 10 feet from the tower,
Okay.
from the base of the tower.
Perception.
Also, as you're looking at it, this gate takes you into, would potentially take you into the tower, but you don't see any door. Wizards seem to eschew doors.
Yeah.
I see.
Can I also look around to see if there's some?
Yeah, unless you don't notice any doorbell or anything like that. You're too concerned with the fact that the door seems to be locked.
Well, the door is locked. I can't get in.
Gate, I should say.
That's unusual. Anyone else see? Let me look. I'll look around and.
Yeah, you look around. There doesn't seem to be there's no kind of. Well, you look around. There doesn't seem anything obvious to you that would be to alert somebody you're there.
Just calling out, ahoy! We're here to.
You call out ahoy
on behalf of the watch. Speak to the mage of the tower.
You wait for a little bit. No response of any sort. In fact, the only response you get is a few people who are kind of walking by, looking at you guys.
Okay.
Interesting.
And from where you're at, the two guards that are at the gate to outside this area also are kind of looking at you guys now too, because they can hear you.
Well, I'll come back to I'll go to those guards. Hello, we're here to see the wizards. We're trying to.
The wonderful wizard.
The one you look at says, no one sees the wizard.
Oh. No one has ever seen the wizard? How do we know even there?
Well, I mean, the wizard's there, but I've only ever seen her when she visits with the Lady Governor.
Ah.
No one has
no one's ever been entered in, or?
No.
Oh, well, interesting.
Well,
how do we sneak in?
What do we have that might interest her? Her name is Idian, right? Idian?
Are you saying that out loud to them?
No, I'm
yeah. When the last time somebody mentioned her was Wizard Iden, yes. Which is technically spelled Yden, but
yeah, I'll never get that.
That's why I spelled
we have come from merchants, go back to the wall, and have found this and wonder if there's anything you could tell us about it, and pull out one of the axes of black metal.
You go back to the guards or to the wall?
No, to the wall. To the wall of the
all right, so you do that and you wait a few minutes and no response.
Okay. Can I perception? Is there any motion at all? Anything going on?
Yeah, give me a perception.
Are there like windows on the tower?
Not that you see.
Gotcha. Does it seem
way up there? There does seem to be a balcony of some sort, but that's it.
Okay.
Wow.
You don't see any motion anywhere. There is something odd about the stone to the right of the gate, but can't, even with that natural 20, you can't quite put your finger on what's odd about it. Something seems off. Something's not. Something, when you try to look directly at it, seems to.
You can't. It doesn't.
It averts your gaze.
Yeah, you just can't fully see it.
What was I going to ask? Forgot. Oh, does the stone or anything look any way similar to the other wizard tower that we saw?
No, it's not the same type of stone. It's more of a it's a sort of a sandstone kind of thing, stone kind of thing, not a stand stone.
Yes.
So yeah, not necessarily this. It's not the same at all.
Gotcha.
Walk through the area that you can't look at.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in front of it, so it's screened. My body's screening what I'm gonna do to it, and I'm gonna use my mage hand and see if my mage hand can go through it with some type of illusion.
We're trying to get to do to what?
to the area that I can't. That seems to be unusual. The illusionary.
So you try
area.
to mage hand to go
just
through
push
it.
my mage hand through it.
The mage
to see if
hand gets to it, and I mean, it doesn't go through it. It's still stone.
It collides with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not. So it is stone. It's not an illusion.
It's stone.
Okay, I was thinking maybe it was an illusion.
Guys
All right, I'm popping detect magic.
You've had it? Oh my lord! I didn't know you had it.
I don't think he does. I'm looking at his spellbook right now.
I have a level 1
there it is.
detect
It's in level
magic.
one. Yeah, it's in
I've
level
had
Oh my
level 1
God.
detect
Yeah, okay.
magic.
I was
for
actually checking everybody's
a
spells because I was like,
one.
does anybody have detect magic?
I have identified. I've been like, somebody has to have it. I thought we said we didn't. Okay, good.
Oh, sorry. Just a
All right,
misunderstanding.
you cast detect magic, and indeed there is something there on the stone.
Can I tell what kind of magic it is?
When you see it in the magical, there is a rune that is on the stone there.
Cool. Do I know what kind of rune it is?
It would probably be conjuration, actually.
Gotcha.
You don't know what the rune is itself because you have no formal magical training. But
Okay, so I couldn't like Arcana check to just know it.
Yeah, but the magic that's glowing from it seems to be conjuration.
So I give you a piece of a quill and a piece of paper. Can you draw it?
Sure.
Because don't we have we have someone who might be able to know?
I can also dispel the magic.
Praedyth
We
Well,
want.
I really don't know if you want to dispel.
The wizard's
I can also try to
door.
dispel
Yeah, let's not piss off the wizard we're coming to
We
get
could
help
just
from.
break in their door. Or her door.
Okay, you go. I'm going back to the warehouse if that happens. So you go right
I'm
ahead.
headed back to the docks. You dispel all you want.
I'm gonna go someplace safe by dealing with the dock workers and all the thievery and stuff goes in there. You mess with the wizard.
I agree. See? They
So
agree.
does anyone recognize this? Once he's drawn it?
So he draws the glyph. You don't recognize it. You don't technically have any formal magical training either. That being said,
Does
because
Brian-
Praedyth is a jerk and has the I can read anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Praedyth, that is a it is a rune of that when you look at it, it basically says speak enter. It basically says enter.
I say enter out loud. Enter.
Yeah, nothing happens, but
Maybe we have. What's the Elvish word for friend?
it's not the Elvish word for friend.
What do I know? What language it is?
Oh, it's draconic. It's a magical rune.
Huh.
So, does anyone speak Draconic? Anyone say enter in Draconic? Do I know Draconic? What
I
do
don't
I
know
know?
Draconic.
Oh.
I don't know what I even know.
Can you read and speak, or you can just read all languages?
No,
I can just
He
read.
can just read them all. He can't speak them all.
Oh,
But I don't even know what languages I do speak. So,
Yeah.
it's
So
too
it is
confusing.
funny. He knows what it says, but he can't tell you in that language what it is. Like all
I
he can
can
say is
tell
like,
you.
"Oh, that says enter," and you'll be like, "No, it doesn't. That totally is not enter. That's some strange wiggle." And he'll be like, "No,
But
it
you tell
means
it's
enter.
draconic.
I just can't tell you the actual word."
Yeah,
I can't tell you how to say
I
it.
do not speak Draconic either. So
Does anybody speak Draconic? I don't know.
But
I do not. Dresd'a might.
Dresd'a-
Dresd'a might.
Dresd'a's-
She's about the only one who might.
She's got unusual language, or maybe someone of her.
Nope, she has Abyssal, not Draconic.
Unfortunate. And Rhux can't, I'm assuming.
Rhux does not have it either.
Man. Well, does anyone have speak languages?
No. Praedyth has comprehend languages, so if somebody speaks to
I
him,
have
he can
a whole-
understand it.
I have a whole bunch of things that let me understand stuff. I don't know anything about talking to people.
This is the same
It's
problem we
like-
had
it's
last
like
week.
Latin.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's a puzzle. A wizard would not make it easy to let you in, now would they?
No, and
So it's a puzzle.
And do we
So
wanna,
that is the door, but we just got to figure out how to open
well, we
it.
have to prove ourselves, perhaps, that we're
Well, if I
worthy of her
dispel the
time.
magic, if it's level 3 or lower, I'm good.
Dispel the magic.
Again, before you start doing that, please let me know so I will leave, because I mean, we could always just go to the artificer, come back to this, and maybe the artificers have something you can purchase.
Oh, I mean, actually, by dispelling the magic, it could be like a little doorbell that he rings, that like gets somebody's attention. So,
That's what I'm worried about. It'll get someone's attention. But okay, I'll just go stand over there if you're going to do that, and yeah.
I'll stand right behind you.
You're going to cast Dispel Magic.
I kind of don't really want to. I'm trying to think about what we can actually do to get past the door. Otherwise, because I have a feeling that this spell is going to be higher level than 3rd level.
Probably.
So
But
which
then you
means
just roll. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you
not like,
should still try to break it. It's just a roll instead.
yeah.
But the question is, do we want to do that? And that's the is that considered an ability check if he's rolling to?
He rolls a d20 and he adds his charisma modifier, because in his case it's charisma.
I'm just trying to see if
Can I make an Arcana check?
Sure, you can make an Arcana check.
I want to see.
You know what it says, so, and you know it's a rune.
Yeah, I just want to see if
I
I
also
can
know it's a
do
magical
anything.
rune with conjuration, because that's what Iylis has told you.
I mean,
but yes, you can make an
Whoops,
Arcana
not
check.
disadvantage. That was a disadvantage. I don't know if I got better or not.
Click
you
on it.
have a 10 plus 3 is 16. So if you take the other, so you don't
got
have
a
a disadvantage
16.
or advantage. Just roll it again,
Yeah, okay.
because in essence I'm giving you advantage. So
Right.
technically the 6 was the one you rolled first, so the 12 was right, but roll it again so you're not doing advantage or disadvantage. Well,
I got
you got the exact same
so
thing.
it's fine.
okay.
Nice.
You're not. I mean, you've spent time with wizards before. I mean, you've done research with them at various places, like the Elastrian has wizards at it, where you did some of your research. This is an odd way of doing things. It's. I mean, you consider yourself a bit eccentric. This seems very eccentric, even to you.
So, what was the word again?
Enter.
No, I know, man. I'm asking in character. So I'm going to go up and do identify on it.
Says enter.
You're going to do identify.
I just-
Identify on
The
the
problem
spell.
you have, though, Marcus, is you can't see it.
Oh.
Remember, he
okay.
saw it because he did detect magic, and he saw it
Did
in
he
magic.
point out where it was?
Yeah, no, he drew the rune. That's how you know what the rune is.
No, I know, but like, did he,
He does
point out
point where
it
it's
was on the
at,
wall?
but you can't. Marcus can't identify something he can't actually see.
I know, but I want to just walk into that wall, see what happens.
Well, walking into the wall, you run into the wall.
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
mage
that's
hand.
Yeah,
disappointing.
the mage hand tried that too, but it is a
I
rune
forgot about that.
It is a rune about 4 or 5 feet up, probably about 4.5 feet up on the stone.
Iylis, can you just touch it?
Actually, hold on.
Poke it?
Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, I can poke it.
It's more like about 3 feet up.
Always down to poke a conjured object.
Yeah, you can go touch it if you want.
I'll go poke it.
You go touch it, and you feel a slight thrum underneath it, but nothing happens.
So do we?
So
see
I
his-
can't like push through it or anything.
Does
You
his-
push on it, and again, nothing seems to happen.
Does
Gotcha.
his arm go through the wall when he's touching
Nope.
it?
Nope. The rune is literally on the stone. He touches the stone. He feels a little bit of it's almost as if when you're on an airplane and you touch the wall of the airplane, you can feel a little bit of a tremble with it because of the engine
Right.
and stuff like that. That's what he feels when he touches it.
I see.
Can I trace the rune over it, where he says it is,
Try.
like with my finger.
You're gonna have to do like a dexterity check or something because with disadvantage because he's showing.
I could just try and do that.
Well, yeah, that's what I was
I can
about
see
to
it.
suggest.
Remember, you only got 10 minutes on this thing, so
Yeah,
and
but I
you're
can
just
already
try and
about
trace the rune.
3 or 4 into it. So.
okay. Well, yeah. I mean, how hard could it be to trace the rune?
All right, Iylis,
How
you're gonna
long
trace
could that
the rune?
take?
Trace the
Yes.
rune. You trace the rune.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Got it. All right. Well, that was a waste of time.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Identify, even if it doesn't work. I don't know it won't work.
Identifies for objects, right?
Well, I mean, I can touch
Do
the
it for
wall.
some. I let you do it for some things other than that, but you cast Identify. You basically what comes back is you're looking at a stone wall because you can't see the rune.
Okay.
I mean,
That's what I figured would happen, but
that's
my
all.
character
Right.
wouldn't necessarily know that.
yeah,
so.
no, that's
Um,
fine. I mean, but that's what happens is you basically you can't see the rune. You might know that it's there, but you can't see it. So the Identify is attaching to whatever you can see and kind of talk and work with, and that's the stone wall. So
I'm gonna try insight on the thing just to see if I
All
can
right.
figure
can
out
do an
if
insight
there's
check.
if there's anything that I in the back of. I mean, I could try Arcana instead. Just anything in the back of my brain to open
You
up
know,
a magical door.
This is-
I really think that you had this. Actually, I think Praedyth really has it. I will give between the two of you. I know you guys can figure this out. So I'm getting bardic inspiration
Jesus.
to both of you.
Woo! Thanks.
What are we gonna do? Just throw our heads at it?
No, you're just gonna roll to see.
All right. Well, okay. Can I?
So Praedyth has already tried to figure out what this might mean.
Yeah, I did my
and
Arcana.
he
check.
failed,
okay.
so he can't do it again.
You can't do it. So I guess
It's
I'll
a
just give it
knowledge-based thing. You either know it or you don't.
Yeah,
There's
I already
there's no in
screwed
between
up.
on this sort of thing.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll give it.
But you
to,
can give it to Iylis. He hasn't tried
yeah.
to figure
and
it out.
what does that give me?
A D8.
It's an extra D6.
Or D6, yeah,
if you're
'cause-
using an ability score.
When you do an ability check, you can do add a
Oh,
D6 to it.
an ability check. Gotcha. Okay.
You really aren't trained in Arcana
Not a skill
per
check.
se, so I mean, at least
Well,
not
I
in
am.
wizardry stuff.
Does Dresd'a?
Yeah, true.
But you can do
I know-
insight. That's fine.
What about
Yeah,
Dresd'a?
okay.
Does she know anything?
Does
Dresd'a, you-
she? Does she know anything? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if she has Arcana. That's kind of what I'm. She's the only person I could think of that would, in our party, might have some Arcana.
Dresd'a does have Arcana. I mean, she could have been somewhat trained. She's not going to have been trained as a wizard per se.
I know
nice
everything.
roll.
Well, this is an insight check. So,
Yeah.
I will give you the following extra pieces of information. You know that there's a rune on the stone that when you touch it, there's a slight thrum to it. Like there's a slight tremble to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know that the rune says enter.
Right.
What might you do?
Can I
Touch
can I
the
go
rune?
touch the rune and
Okay.
say enter?
Praedyth touches the
Enter.
room and says enter and disappears.
Of course.
We'll get back to you, Praedyth.
But I thought we had to.
Sure.
I thought someone tried that. I thought we
No,
tried.
no one ever said the word.
Oh,
enter.
wow.
No, I yeah.
I said the word enter, but I wasn't touching the rune.
Yeah, he
Yes.
wasn't touching the thing.
Ah.
I said
That
it's
was
a
the big
puzzle.
thing.
Okay,
It's
so
not
we
a
can
terribly
touch it.
hard puzzle.
No,
It's
apparently
not.
it is.
Okay, so we don't have to dispel the magic.
But there is
Cool.
some. It's so super obvious that sometimes that's a puzzle in and of itself.
Well, I didn't think
Yes.
we could touch it. That was throwing me. I mean, I get it.
Well,
it's
I
on
did touch
stone,
it. I've
but-
traced my
Yeah,
finger.
it's invisible, so only somebody who
Right.
can detect magic can see it in the first place, or see invisibility. So that's already the first part of.
All right. Anybody
of the
got
conundrum.
chalk?
The next part
Well,
of
no.
it is
Why
being
don't we?
able
Well, we
to.
just have to just touch the same place he did and
Yeah,
say
you just have to touch
enter.
you have to touch
Yeah.
where the rune is. You can figure out where the rune is because as soon as you touch it, it starts to tremble, whether you can see it or not.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'll follow in. I'll do the same thing.
All right, so you touch it and press enter, or say enter.
Press enter.
Hold on a second. We'll go to Praedyth.
Press-
Praedyth, you appear in a stone walled room, so it's circular walled. There is a single light shining down in the center of a stone floor. There is literally nothing else in this room. It's just stone walls, stone floor. A single light seems to be shining down. You're not sure where the light is coming from. There's no obvious like torch or anything like that. It's shining down in the center of the room, and you're literally just on the edge of this cone of light. What do you do?
I'll call out. I'll say, hello. My name is Praedyth, Reverend Praedyth, of course, as you would always know. We're just coming in, but it's not a very decorated spot. I want to look in. Head in a couple steps, and I want to do a perception test.
Right. So you take 2 steps in and give me a perception roll. So you
Is
take
my
2 steps
bird
into
with
the
me,
light.
or
No, your bird died last night, didn't it? I mean, you could have recreated it this morning, so.
yeah, I would have recreated it by this
It's a question
point.
of whether, if it was on your shoulder, yes. If it was not, then no.
Yeah, it would have been on my shoulder while we're doing this.
Looking around,
since the bird's on my shoulder, it's like a 16, I think.
okay. Kind of look around. Again, it looks like it's a stone room with just this light in it. But because you got that, give me an intelligence check.
All right. Just straight up intelligence.
Intelligence saving throw is fine. Look around, and as you're looking around, the whole thing sort of fades a little bit, like sort of swims before your eyes, and then you realize that you're in about a 20-foot in diameter room. There's a roaring fireplace across the way. There's 2 chairs over there. You're standing sort of in the center of that room, and there's behind you, there's the wall that's curved behind you is from floor to ceiling with bookshelves full of books and scrolls and things of that nature. But there is no person in this room. We'll come back to you.
Rated. Okay.
Back to you. Marcus, you appear in a chamber that's maybe 50, 60 feet in diameter, stone wall all the way around, a flat stone floor with a single light in the very center.
Okay. Hello?
You don't see anybody. Your hello echoes a little bit.
Wizard Iden, we are here to seek your counsel on a matter of some importance to save the lives of the city, and perhaps do business. May I enter?
No response.
Say
Other than the
no
echo
if
of
you
your
don't want
own
me to
voice.
enter. Okay. So I'm in the light.
You're right at the very edge of the light. Like there's a cone of light coming down. You're right at the very edge.
So go to the center of the cone.
All right, you walk to the center.
Anything different?
Your footprints, your boot steps echo a bit about the chamber, and then it settles to quiet again.
Okay. Anything above me? If I look straight up on the light,
Looking up,
the light.
you're looking into the light, but it's about, the stone ceiling, maybe about 30 feet above you.
Okay. So I'll go to where I was facing initially and walk out of the light. Walk to the edge of the light carefully.
So you walk
like where I started,
Uh-huh.
assuming that it's like they want us to go ahead and walk forward from that point. So I will try that.
But you're going to walk the other direction.
No, I'm going to walk the direction that I would have been facing.
Well, you were facing into the light, so you already walked to the center. Yes. You were outside, you were at the very edge of the cone, facing into the light. So you were barely in the darkness. I mean, in the penumbra of this cone of light. And you walked to the center. That's what you did.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep walking across them.
All right. You walk across and out the other side, and no change other than the echo of your footsteps.
This is unfortunate.
We'll come back to you outside. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna touch the thing and go in.
All right, you touch it and say enter.
Enter.
And disappear. Anybody else doing anything out there?
Yeah, just
do the
kind
same
of
thing.
eyeball the rest of the party, shrug my shoulders, touch the pot, and say, "All right, enter."
Is everybody doing that?
I'm a little weary of this, leery of this. I think I'm gonna, y'all go ahead. I'm gonna stay right here and
Okay.
hang out.
So Hylough decides to stick it out outside.
People are disappearing into
They're
stone.
disappearing into thin air.
Brew.
All right, to kind of shorten this up a little bit, every single one of you enters the chamber like I've described it before, by yourselves.
Gotcha. So nobody's around.
No one else is with you. You don't see anybody else. It's a 60-foot diameter stone chamber, about 30 feet high, a single light in the center that makes about a 10-foot cone, diameter cone on the floor. You are just outside that light, facing towards the light. And this floor is stone. Everything is made of stone.
I'm going towards the light.
Right? You walk to the center of the light. Nothing happens.
Hello? Is there anybody here? I'm looking for the wizard item.
Um,
Iylis, a sorcerer.
Do that for a bit. Going back to Praedyth, though. Praedyth, what are you doing in this room that is totally different from everybody else at this point?
Praedyth's gonna start out by making a perception check.
All right. You look around. Like I said, you see
just
two
looking
chairs
around
in
to
front of a
see.
fireplace and a set of bookshelves behind you.
It's 15. Actually, it's +4, so it's 19.
Okay.
My charisma modifier.
You look around. There is a table next to the chairs. The fire is burning. But it seems to be burning with normally a fire is kind of an orangey red with a little bit of yellow. This seems to be more yellow than orange or red. At this point, though, you also notice that there is a painting above the fire, above the lentil on the fireplace. The painting is of a woman who looks like... Well, I will show you a picture. He looks like this. Are you doing anything else? That's the only new things you kind of notice. I mean, you got a decent perception roll. The books and stuff in the library, in the bookcases behind you look. You recognize a few of them from your time at the Alastrian. They're basically a few treatises on more theories than anything on speculation of how Nyarvine came into being and things like that. One seems to be a treatise on the spheres, i.e., the planes of the world, the spheres of the world, is what it's called. There's a few that you don't recognize, and then most of the scrolls you'd have to open up to look into them to see what they are. But the last thing you notice is that there is a rug that you're standing on. It's also a yellow and purple rug with a strange kind of symbol kind of in it. So it's purple with this yellow symbol on it, and it's maybe about maybe inch thick carpet. So sort of shag carpeted a little bit.
Praedyth's gonna head over and start looking at the books and stuff.
All right, you start looking at the books.
And he's gonna have the raven circle around the room and just keep an eye out for him.
All right. The rest of you who are kind of been moving around in this other area for quite a bit, give me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh. Oh.
I think I just need Dresd'a, right? Rhux stayed out with you, Hylough, by the way.
Oh, good.
Because I don't want to deal with Rhux right now.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I'm trying to get my thingy up.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just asking for your. That's all.
I was yelling at her.
Oh, I wasn't. I was like, who am I missing? Oh yeah, and then I realized I hadn't had Rhux do anything, and I was like, no, Rhux is just staying with Hylough.
Our dogs are going nuts. That's hard to.
Okay, so, Praedyth, you're kind of looking at the books when, you realize that somebody else is in there with you, and turning around, you notice that Marcus has appeared in the room with you. That's
Well,
it.
it took you long enough.
Oh, there you went. Have you found anything yet?
Nope. But these books are kind of cool. So, if you don't mind.
Well, so the rest of us came looking for it, and we were stuck in probably the area you came in, where it's just a light and.
Oh, it's just an illusion, I imagine, or some type of thing like that.
I'm sure. So, we definitely shouldn't touch anything. Is there any you followed out?
Praedyth has already eaten food. He's just kidding.
You're stuck in the Fae for the rest of your life. Good job.
Yep.
You guys are kind of chatting with each other when you hear a voice that you can't quite pinpoint where it's coming from, and it says, welcome to my tower. Please have a seat.
Thank you. Pull up, sit down. Is there a couch or
No,
chair?
there's two chairs in front of the fire.
Yes, then I will sit in front of the fire.
The bird
Marcus.
The bird goes and sits on the other chair, and Praedyth keeps looking at the books.
Why do you come and seek an audience?
We are trying to look at Praedyth to see if he's saying anything, or he's just.
Praedyth's looking at the books.
Okay. There was, I'm sure you know, there was an attack by the creatures from
Black Lagoon.
on the dock, the Black Lagoon. No, not the Black Lagoon.
Sea devils.
The Sea Devils on the port last night, and many people were killed, and they seem to be coming back. We think it has something to do with. We're trying to find what object it may be. We have a lead. Perhaps one of the salvagers seems to have found something. It was an unusual color of blue on the floor, perhaps an egg, and are hoping your wisdom, perhaps do the Sea Devils procreate like that? Do you know what they would be searching for? Something that can, make everything easier, and then hopefully no one else would come to bother you because we'd already have stopped the threat.
Seems to me you've already figured out what you need to. Why have you come?
But we need something to detect where it is, specifically. We need knowledge. I'm hoping for your insight.
Knowledge is gained from study and hard work. Experience.
Yes, but
well, where can we get this experience? Praedyth calls from the bookshelf.
You little one have more experience than you let on.
Well, perks of being old.
And knowledge can also be taught, or at least guidance be given, so we can learn these things. Experience can be a very harsh teacher at times.
My time is very precious to me.
I
completely understand. Your group's heavy-handed approach to things is.
It is not my preference.
Not making me predisposed to giving you anything of great value.
I agree.
Our apologies.
You're not there, Iylis.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I agree that our methods have, at times, more often than not, seemed very heavy-handed.
No,
but we are
more
trying.
speaking You did figure out how to enter, but many of you are still stuck.
Yeah, I've been waiting for them too.
Yeah, they still have not appeared.
Yeah, not many of us know beyond.
Not all that bright.
I think the short answer.
Look, I just
the
failed my
ans-
intelligence.
Yeah. The answer I can give you is that your explanation already sounds very sound. I don't think you need anything from me.
But
Iylis needs a tutor.
Well, Iylis can always go talk to Emrys and get a tutor. So
True.
well, while my explanation sounds, there are always other explanations out there. Again, I seek your guidance on this, and how would we? Do you know what we seek? While we know perhaps it's an egg, perhaps it is child. If we know exactly what it is, we could find it much easier to stop this before they come back, other lives are lost. And again, others come and try to involve you, or so perhaps I ask for your help on this. Can I do a persuasion check?
yeah, I was just gonna have you give me a persuasion check. I was gonna do it anyway.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to try to use my cool. Let's hope I roll well. Well, that sucks. I'm going to use my cool ability, which allows me to roll one of my battle dice for persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that'll go better. Commanding presence.
Mm-hmm.
Did it roll? Oh, it just said, okay, so it's a D8. That's all my freaking roll dice. I don't know. It's /R.
Or click on the little die that's the D20. That's
There we
our
go.
thing.
Well, I had them
roll
all.
a D8. Or
Had them all.
forward
I thought
slash
mapped
R.
out.
No, there's a little die along.
Okay, there we go. Got it.
The fourth one down on your little thing.
Yeah.
If you click on that, then you can click on a single D8 and it'll roll it.
Not spectacular.
So you got a 10.
10 net.
Yeah. You hear the voice. Well, you don't hear the voice. The voice pauses for a moment and then says, I do not know much about the habits or the creatures that you seek. But there are others. There are others in the city that might. Seek out... what's it called? Seek out the pool of the water goddess. She may be able to help. And at that point, the picture fades. Like the picture that was this, the picture fades to a black. And first, Dresd'a, you appear outside next to Hylough.
Do I hear her say about the water goddess?
Nope. You were in the stone room the whole time, and then suddenly you're just back outside. Iylis, similarly, you appear back outside.
What happened?
Where'd y'all come from?
Same thing with Aaron. You again appear just back outside with the rest of them. And then about
rejected.
Then about a minute later, Praedyth, the Raven, and Marcus appear back outside as well.
Oh, that was enlightening.
It was?
I wasn't done.
I wasn't either.
Well, you weren't doing anything.
I was trying to get in.
I guess you can talk to her.
We did get to speak to her. She keeps her own counsel, but she did help a lot with. She told us perhaps we should talk to the water god pool of the water goddess. Is that ringing any bells for anyone? Or is there a goddess of the ocean or?
I'm not particularly the religious type, so
I know,
but you do know somebody who is.
I do know someone who is.
We could talk to True.
There you go. He definitely is the religious type.
I just thought maybe someone else would have a chance to maybe chat with her water thingy.
So,
you can give me a religion check.
Do I feel anything when they mention the pool of the sea goddess? Like, does Cora try to speak to me?
No, Cora is not a sea goddess. Cora is a storm giant who just wanted to take over the sea.
Okay.
The 10's good enough for this because it's relatively common knowledge. The sea goddess or the water goddess is Hylough. Seems a city of this size would probably have some temple to Hylough somewhere. But with the 10, in your knowledge, every time you've seen a temple to Hylough, it's been near a large body of water. So those are the only things that you can really remember. But,
okay. So, I mean, the ocean is a large body of water.
yes.
We're on an island, right?
But so is the river.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll mention to them, about that and suggest we can search near the river or along the shore. Maybe start with the river first.
You could just ask the guard if there's a.
You could ask the guard.
Temple to the water goddess here.
There's that too.
There is that as well, yes.
So yeah, go up and ask the guard. Is there?
So the guards have been watching this whole time, or at least the one has. He's like, as you come approach him, he doesn't. You see him. I mean, you got a little bit of fighter into you. You see him tense a little bit, like he's like not sure if he should fight or flight, kind of thing.
Yeah, slowly, hands out.
You don't have to do that. I mean, he's a guard.
No, but I'm just making sure my hands are away from my weapon.
But he's like, "What can I do for you?"
Yes. Is there a temple to the water goddess here?
The sacred pool?
Yes.
Yes, the sacred pool.
Yes. Is it here? Can you tell us where to go?
It is on the eastern side of the docks.
Okay. Can you describe it? That is the next part of the quest. That is the next piece of the puzzle. So we can help keep these creatures from attacking us.
It is built at the far side of the docks near the squalls.
Huh. All right, thank you. And just
You're
go
welcome.
past them. I'm not gonna say anything about going into the wizard's tower or
Okay.
anything. I just act like it was completely it's just what we do. It's the thing.
All right, so you start heading back out the gate. What is everybody else doing? Are they following along?
Yeah, I'm following.
All right, you guys start heading out down along the main thoroughfare there.
While we're here, by the way, does anyone want to go to the artificer's place? And while we're here, look at anything.
Yeah, why not? We got a few minutes, right?
I mean, what time of day is it?
So that's the funny bit, Hylough. They were gone for an hour.
Oh wow.
Huh.
But to you guys, it was like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops.
Wow.
They were gone for an hour.
Hey guys, I'm getting hungry. It's lunchtime.
Okay. Well, the artificer's near. Actually, we got to go past the market. There's food there.
Yeah.
We also the artificers. Was that next to the tower?
You're not too far away from the Silver Emporium. No. I mean, I haven't figured out exactly where it is in this mess of stuff, but this right here is kind of like the main thoroughfare of the city. This this along to here, down through here. and kind of down and out is kind of the main thoroughfare. So it's on the main thoroughfare, so you're not too far away from it, no matter what. Sort of main street, so to speak.
Okay. So where to next, guys? Do we do that? Do we want to go ahead and head to the pool? Or, like I said, maybe the wizard, she does tend to, is watching us and would rather us not have heavy-handedness, so perhaps that would, a delay would be considered heavy-handedness.
No, probably not, but
yeah,
you got the feeling that she was commenting more upon
the fact that we were dumb and couldn't figure
your
out
attempt to get in than anything else.
Well, that is true. That is very true. All right, so you guys want to do
the discussion about whether or not Iylis should dispel it comes to mind when you think about it.
That's true.
Which you did have a discussion about it.
Yeah, but I ended up not doing it.
You didn't do it, but still.
And I did say not to.
I ended up not wanting to. I'll have you know.
Let's go ahead and go to the artificers thing while we're here.
All right. So you head out, and sure enough, you turn towards this way towards the direction of this, and it's the building at the end of this block. This is the Silver Emporium. It's a rather remarkable edifice. It seems to be, you think, 3 stories tall, with a what's the word I'm looking for? It is a skylight at the top, sort of a domed skylight at the top of it that kind of comes down and lets light into it. There's a main door rather large main door to it. It's actually kind of a bit gaudy, quite frankly, but artificers kind of full of themselves, all that sort of stuff.
Right.
But like I said, it's literally right next to the thing. You head into the door and open inside, and inside on this first floor, there's sort of a garden in the center, and there's 2 sort of not kiosks, but like sort of rooms, on 2 halls worth of rooms that go on either side. So think of it, in the center there is this, you come in, there's sort of a marble hallway, you come up a few stairs into a marble hallway. Beyond that, there's this basically about 15-foot wide garden with some fountains and stuff like that. On either side of the garden on left and right, there's like a 10-foot hall that goes along each side of it. And then there's these rooms off of that hall towards the side of the room. And each room seems to be dedicated to some kind of thing, like either weapons or armor or potions or staffs and that sort of stuff. So there's 3 rooms on either side, but there's also a set of stairways that go up to potentially another level. And I think that is where we'll stop for the evening as you enter into the Silver Emporium.
Ooh. Shopping trip. Actually, got
the cliffhanger shopping trip.
There's a plot there where it was trying to be broken into yesterday too, so we'll have to remember to get some clues on that as well.
That's true. So. The crier did say the thief was caught trying to steal from the Silver Emporium.
True.
Excellent. Good thing we can't figure out a simple path.
It wasn't that simple. I mean, the whole point is to play on the fact that it's as obvious as you think it is, and then play on the fact that play that into the whole point. So.
The solution.
All right. Next time we will pick up with potentially some shopping.
Ooh.
Oh, all right. Yay.
Very exciting.
Excellent.